mom and dad fought in the war. He's a vet. He ended up dying before I got to know him. But we appreciate his service and everyone else out there fighting for us.
We'd like to thank them for all their hard work, their service, their sacrifice. We know that we couldn't do what we do if they didn't make those sacrifices.
It's a special day. I'm proud to be a ball player and an American, and I hope everybody keeps that perspective.
On Memorial Day, perhaps the most important holiday in America, welcome to Colorado Rockies baseball as the Rockies celebrate with all of you the memories of those who have made this country great. Game 2 of the day-night doubleheader with the Houston Astros here on Root Sports. Hi, everybody. Jack Corrigan from 850 KOA sitting in for Drew Goodman tonight. George Frazier alongside. And, George, in the opener, the Rockies did just enough in a lot of areas to come away with a win.
Well, it's one of those days you walk away from the ballpark and you say, was it a pretty win? Well, it wasn't necessarily pretty, but it's a W, and that's the way you like to take it. Jordan Pacheco with the big base hit after the Houston Astros opened the door with an arrow at shortstop. That allowed a couple of runs to come in and give the Rockies the edge they needed. Pacheco with 3 RBIs. A tie is a career high for Mr. Pacheco.
And one of the things that you liked with all the good elements that the Rockies got, especially at the back end with Belisle and Betancourt, now in Game 2 you're looking against a young pitcher to keep going with the offense against Jordan Lyles and have Alex White build on his last effort.
No question about that, Jack. I think that's exactly what you're looking for. It's the fourth start coming up from this young man. He was called up from AAA, their #1 rated prospect out throughout their organization. Has struggled a little bit at the big league level. Fastball around 88, 92, and he'll throw some sink to it. He's had 18 starts so far at the big league level. Has not figured it out consistently to earn that 4th or 5th spot in their rotation. You saw the overall record in the numbers there, but a very good hard thrower. Then Alex White, hard sinker. I tell you what, this young man, I think, is starting to find his way through this. Against the Astros, he struggled in a couple of starts, but I honestly feel like his heavy sinker's coming back, Jack. I think he's having better command of the hard slider. He's starting to get swings and misses on the slider, and the confidence has started to gain. 16 walks, 16 strikeouts, 6 walks so far. You like that kind of ratio.
Well, this is the 5th doubleheader so far in Major League Baseball in 2012. The Rockies are going to try and become the 2nd team to sweep a twin bill. Alex White gets the call for the Rockies as they try and build on a Game 1 victory here on Memorial Day. We're glad you're with us. Starting lineups, we'll get it going when we come back. Sports is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, moving forward. By CenturyLink, fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online at Southwest.com. Welcome back, and all of you, happy to have you be with us as we're a part of your Memorial Day celebration. Alex White, the young right-hander out of North Carolina, ready to do his work. He'll face a young man right off the bat in Jordan Schaefer, who was a big factor in the opener. And let's take a look at who'll follow Schaefer in the Southwest Airlines starting lineup for Houston manager Brad Mills. It was Jose Altuve, also a big contributor in the Game 1 activity for the Astros. Brian Bogusevic moves up in the lineup. Carlos Lee still at cleanup. Travis Buck gets a start in the nightcap. Likewise, Matt Downs, Chris Snyder, and Marwin Gonzalez all did not start in the opener. And the right-hander Jordan Lyles will pitch for Houston.
Alex White's on the hill for the Rockies today. He owes these Houston Astros. Has not had a lot of success against them in a couple of starts. Fifth start this season, though. Wednesday defeated Miami, and it was another one of those 6 innings, 4 runs, gave his ball club a chance to win, and he got the win in that game. 4th career start here at Coors Field. And if you look back over his other 4 starts that he's had, San Diego, 6 1/3, couple of runs. The one hiccup against the Dodgers. Seattle, 7 innings, 3 runs in that ball game. He lost the ball game, but pitched extremely well through 98 pitches over 78. And Jack, I think the big key for him is he's finding the strike zone consistently.
And when you do that, then I would think, George, as he adds just another pitch or just a little less velocity on some of his secondary pitches, just to have a different pace, then that's the next breakthrough?
I think so, and I think gaining confidence in his split finger, taking a little bit off of that slider at times instead of being so hard with the break all the time. But this is a tough kid. He'll have Will Nieves behind the plate, the veteran catcher, to call the game here against the Astros.
The speedy Jordan Schaefer had a wonderful bunt as part of his 3-hit effort in the opener, and we're underway. I'm not sure Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire, I'm not sure if there was a light on someplace. I know it's not us. Whatever, he asked for a momentary pause. Now everything seems to be okay. Pacheco on the grass at third. Scudero will have to be quick, and he is, to get the game underway with a ground ball out. Defensively behind Alex White, same outfield configuration as the opener, with one exception. Tyler Colvin starts in right field. Pacheco, Tulowitzki back on the left side. Marco Scudero sat out the opener. And as George pointed out, Will Nieves, the veteran catcher, will be the one guiding Alex White along here this evening.
I like the American flag flying in different ways here at the ballpark. This happens to be on the side of the cap.
Jose Altuve, as you can see, just a beauty. It was gorgeous this afternoon and still very nice. You see the low humidity. It almost looked like early on the lack of humidity bothered Wandy Rodriguez. Again, Scudero busy. Takes care of his counterpart by a step. 2 up, 2 down on ground outs. A good early sign from Alex White.
Yeah, you like this because of the hard sink on the baseball, challenging the strike zone. Well, let's look on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo as you watch the sink on this baseball. See how that ball's catch the top half of the baseball. They're typically going to get the ball on the ground an awful lot.
2 ground ball outs for Alex White. He now gets the left-handed hitting outfielder Brian Bogusevic. You mentioned Eric Cooper calling the balls and strikes. We'll get you the Rest of the umpiring crew, the crew chief Jeff Kellogg, who worked the opener, is sitting out the nightcap, and Eric Cooper's in there. That's generally how they do it now. 1-1 to count on Bogusevic when there's a doubleheader. 5 guys, and the home plate guy from game 1 gets game 2 off.
He can go eat dinner away from the ballpark.
That was a nice splitter there.
Really good split finger there. Had a lot of movement on it. Got the encouragement from Nieves after he threw the pitch.
Trying to make it a quick first inning. Didn't get him to chase it that time. Well, there is no doubt a guy like Will Nieves is about as proactive as you can be behind the plate.
He really is, and you like to see that because he has a lot of conversation with the umpire to tell him this is the pitches we're going to throw. This is what we need to have in situations. I'll get him to live there. You live with me.
Bogusevic has run the count full. Rockies in their purple tops on Purple Monday, and look out, all the guys wearing purple in the dugout. Jim Tracy saying before the game, I'd not heard it before, and I really liked it. He said for him Memorial Day is the most important American holiday because of what it represents.
Yeah, I would agree with him too.
Base hit over the shoulder of Alex White by Brian Bogusevic, and the Astros keep this top of the first going.
Left-handers this year have hit .333 against Alex White. Right-handers just a .188. A lot of it, if you get into those hitters' counts, and they force you into throwing the fastball. Now, when you're facing a sinker ball guy, hitters think back up the middle. They don't try the pitcher's wanting you to pull the baseball.
Well, one of the things is you see the numbers that George is referencing. An important factor in the game in Miami. Carlos Lee, the hitter now. The first 5 at bats by left-handers, 4 hits. The next 10 at bats, 1 hit.
See, that's outstanding. Make them be aggressive, get the ball on the ground, get them to roll over on a lot of pitches. He did that with the leadoff man Jordan Schaefer.
Falls behind Carlos Lee, a dangerous man, and Will Nieves, as we said, he is not going to let things get too far away from his control with the kid pitcher on the mound.
Well, he doesn't like he wants you to be aggressive. It's the first inning of the game. Challenge these guys.
Bogusevic can run a little bit, 6 steals and 9 tries. Nieves has a good throwing arm. With the 6:10 start and the beautiful day, the sun a little bit of an issue here early on, especially on the right side of the ballpark. For Todd Helton at first, for Tyler Colvin in right field.
And it should be positive for Alex White because you have shadows all over the place around the home plate area. I think that's another thing that Nieves is trying to stress. They're having a difficult time. If it's tough for me to catch cleanly, it's tough for them to hit.
2 balls and a strike now on Lee. Still with that exaggerated open stance. And he'll keep the inning going with a base hit. Bogusevic will dig to third. And the Astros have been on the corners. 2 out here in the top of the first.
One more look at this pitch coming on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo 2. It's going to be that sinker that you're trying to run, but anytime you let the hand get outside the baseball, you have a tailing action versus sinking action. Carlos Lee's just a good hitter. Sometimes you have to tip the cap to the batter too.
And one of the things I think he has recognized that the bat speed's slowing down a little bit, George. He used to be so pull heavy. Now much more of the whole field.
Figuring it out as he's getting a little bit older.
Travis Buckle bounce it up the middle. Scutaro will get it to Tulowitzki, and the hits do no damage. Alex White heads to the dugout, hoping his teammates can get him ahead.
Here at Coors Field as we head to the bottom of the first. Well, the nice part about having doubleheaders is there's a little relief now in Major League Baseball. That's because a new rule was implemented. When a doubleheader is scheduled more than a day in advance, a 26th man can be added to the roster. So the Rockies today added reliever Carlos Torres. This is his second stint with Colorado. He's had 4 appearances and just given up a 167 average, batting average for opposing teams. As for the Astros, they had to add a starting pitcher, and that's tonight's starter in Jordan Lyles.
All right, Jenny, thank you very much. And now Carlos Lee says, I need some sunglasses. We talked about it. Carlos, you weren't paying attention when you were over there at first base.
Yeah, what were you doing?
Come on.
Exactly. Snyder giving it. Head on back over there. Put those things on. Well, let's take a look at Jordan Lyles' numbers. He's 5-0 at the AAA level, where he's pitched very, very well, but he's had a couple of roughed-up outings here. And making his 4th start to 0-1, 529 earned run average, 3rd career game, but has not started a game against the Rockies. He will pound the strike zone. It is something he's done throughout his career. Just 8 walks and 40-plus innings at AAA with 33 strikeouts.
Just 21 years of age. 1 ball and 1 strike on Dexter Fowler, hitting leadoff for the 2nd straight ball game. Batting average climbing for Dexter. 1 and 2. It's been interesting for Jordan Lyles in that George talked about it. It's his 4th start. He was called up from the minors, started and went back down the first 3 starts, and may do that again after this game.
And it was all day games that he went on. He's made 3. This is his first night start of 2012 at the Major League level. All those other games have been during the day. They've gone with expanded bullpens and been able to try to utilize it.
They've gone 4 starters for a lot of the first 2 months of the year. Count stays at 2-2 on Dexter Fowler, with Marco Scutaro, Carlos Gonzalez to follow. Downs is backed up at 3rd. He has some giddy up with this young man, George.
He will be 90-95 miles an hour. He hit 94 on that last fastball. He's got a 12-6 curveball that he'll work with it.
Just a little bit high. Full count.
Relying on a veteran catcher. We talked about Nieves out there with Alex White. We got Chris Snyder, who's caught so many years in the National League West behind the plate, calling balls and calling the signs for Jordan Lyles.
Oh my! A rope to right, gone. Touch of all time. Carlos Gonzalez has done it how many times like that on a line drive? But this time it's Dexter Fowler with the laser beam, and the Rockies lead it 1-0.
Well, it got out of here in a hurry, I can tell you that. 7th home run for Dexter. Let's set the tone early in this game too. Fastball, inner half, not going to walk him, put him on base. You don't have to. He had a soft trot around the bases.
I mean to tell you, that's why I said it was like a cargo swing, because it got out of here pronto. Rockies with the early edge. Marco Scutaro got the evening duties after sitting out in the afternoon till late in the ball game. Quickly 2 strikes on the veteran second baseman.
With a lot of young pitchers, they tend to want to be still throwers, and it's difficult for them to understand that, you know, side to side and up and down is very important.
3rd career leadoff homer for Dexter to get the Rockies going. And just what you were talking about, George, 17+ innings now for Lyles. He's given up 5 home runs.
Yeah, and you get into hitters counts. It's a 4-seam fastball, not a lot of late run or tail to the ball. It stays pretty true in the strike zone. And then all of a sudden you try to trick people and you get the count back 2-2. That 7th home run, a career high for Dexter Fowler.
And we're not out of the month of May.
Nice.
2-2. This is hit pretty well to right field, but it's going to stay in the yard. Bogusevic out near the warning track. 1 away. Well, our guys tell us, we said it got out of here in a hurry, George. They say 3 seconds.
You know what? He can't punt in the NFL. There's not enough hang time. Wow. Did it put a dent in the brick wall out there?
Well, one of the things about Dexter, I mean, obviously it's still a developing situation, but I mean, now you're talking about 15 extra base hits from a guy who you'd still like to have be your leadoff hitter. Cargo drives it to left field. That's over the head and off the top of the wall before Buck can chase it down, and Gonzalez has a double. Cargo with a double in the first inning in the opener gets his 12th two-bagger here.
She's busy keeping score along with everybody else at the ballpark, and they've had a lot to write about today. 12th double this season for Carlos. Pitch down and away from him just shows you the strength of this young man when everything is in line. They drive that ball right over Buck's head. Buck turned to think it's out of the park. It's off the wall instead. And Tulowitzki with an opportunity to drive in another run. He has 27 on the year.
And a bunch over the last week or two. Working on a 7-game hitting streak with 11 RBIs in the streak.
Gonzalez in his last 10 at bats, 5 hits, 4 extra base hits, a couple of home runs, and a couple of doubles.
Troy had one of the Rockies' long balls in the opener.
I really felt like with even no humidity, the ball was really flying deep here early in the game this afternoon. It's having that same tendency here tonight.
2-0 the count on Troy, and we saw the Rockies take advantage of the good conditions early and actually throughout the game. I mean, both teams, you had 16 runs. There were a few unearned runs, but you had a boatload of hits as well. More than 20 combined. And Troy, you know what's interesting, George? The numbers are coming back for Troy. He's on this hitting streak, and during the streak, long counts, lots of walks.
Not being aggressive, not frustrated. You know, I'm not getting any hits, so now I'm going to get aggressive. I'm going to swing early in counts. He's not doing that.
Seeing better pitches and seeing them better.
Better pitches, better results.
3 balls and a strike on the Rockies' cleanup hitter. Leadoff homer by Dexter Fowler. A 1-out double by Carlos Gonzalez here in the bottom of the first. It is windier. It has picked up from the afternoon game.
Kind of a swirling wind, actually. I mean, you look out to the outfield, and flags are blowing pretty strong against the third base wall of this ballpark, which causes it to spin and take it out to right field.
Yeah, I've had visiting broadcasters say, well, how did that ball travel to right? Look at the flags. And I said the flags, when they're out of the north, they really can give you that slingshot. There's ball 4. Troy thought the previous pitch was. He draws the walk. And while we've got a chance here, let's take a look at the rest of the Southwest Airlines lineup for manager Jim Tracy. Todd Helton coming to the plate now to hit out of the 5-hole. Jordan Pacheco, game 1 hero. And Tyler Colvin getting the start in right field. Will Nieves behind the plate. Then Alex White got through the first inning, worked around a couple of 2-out singles. His teammates trying to build a good lead for him. Todd will take strike 1. Two on and 1 out. Quickly, Lyles gets ahead. Who wants tacos? Remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 p.m. to get your Rockies tacos special. They've got it today. Get those tacos tomorrow. It's an off day. We can all get tacos tomorrow.
Yeah.
0-2 to Helton. Good block by Snyder. 1-2. For all the storyline today, I would be remiss in my duties as a papa. My grandson James is celebrating his second birthday today.
You better say that.
So Papa has to say happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah.
Watching the game. 2-2. Although my daughter said he is still trying to figure out how Papa's in the same box as Big Bird and Elmo. He's just not ready for that yet.
Hadn't figured all that part out yet. That's funny.
Hard to believe he's 2 already. 2-2 the count on Todd Helton. Had to do it when Todd was batting because Todd is his dad's favorite player. So by genetics, he's got to be rooting for Mr. Helton as well.
He's not the only 2-year-old rooting
I
for
know.
Todd Helton, though. I tell you, he's got a lot of them.
To left field. Buck going back. He is going to have room on the track. Cargo is going to tag. He will move to third. Tulowitzki remains at first. Defensively for the Astros, as you look at Travis Buck out there in left field, Jordan Schaefer covers a lot of ground in center, Brian Bogusevic in right. The infield alignment in the nightcap, Downs and Gonzalez new on the left side, Altuve and Lee back on the right. And Chris Snyder, as George was pointing out, the veteran catcher for the rookie Jordan Lyles. Two outs for Jordan Pacheco. Trying to add to the lead. Jordan with 3 RBIs in the opener.
A pretty good day for Jordan Pacheco in the first game. After big hit coming that dumped into the front of Schaefer that scored 2 to give the Rockies the win. His 3 RBIs, a career high. And in his last 13 games, he's hit at a 340 clip with a home run and 9 RBIs.
Triple to get his afternoon started to drive in his first run, and he's ahead 2 balls and no strikes here.
Comfortable defensively and obviously becoming more aggressive as a hitter.
Now the Rockies never doubted this young man could be a solid big league hitter. It's developing enough with the leather to find a place to play. This might be trouble for Bogusevic on the run. He makes a very nice catch to end the inning. Rockies get the leadoff homer from Dexter Fowler. And as we head to the second inning, one more look at Dex with his 3rd career leadoff homer. Go, the company that repairs all kinds of hits. And boy, in the loss yesterday in Cincinnati, Carlos Gonzalez had quite an afternoon. The third multi-homer game of the season. There's that laser shot that was his second homer that looked so much like the home run from Dexter Fowler here tonight. Brought to you by Mako. Check out your local Mako for collision repairs and auto painting for as low as $349. Visit Mako.com today. Alex White with the lead will get the veteran Matt Downs to start things off for the Astros. Couple of singles with 2 outs, but 3 ground ball outs for Alex White in the first inning. Downs went 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter in the opener. 2 balls and a strike. Helton, Scutaro, Tulowitzki, Pacheco around the infield behind Alex White. They hope they'll stay busy all night long.
Boy, I'd like to see that ball on the ground. I've never seen a ground ball leave the yard. Have you? Never seen one jump over the fence yet.
No. Last ground ball home run, probably Little League, you know.
Yeah. Keep the ball on the ground, you got a pretty good chance.
Can't get that outside corner. A little more run than he wants on that fastball. 3-1. Snyder and Gonzalez will follow. And Alex, he could have done it himself, but he'll give Todd the put out. And on the check swing, he gets another ground ball out. Be sure you join in with us in the conversation with Toyota Talk. Text Toyota to 720-720. Share your insights or questions on the game. Plus, you can learn how to win a $500 gas card. Hope you'll join us for Toyota Talk. Chris Snyder, University of Houston product, so went back home when he joined the Astros. George talked about the amount of work he had with the Arizona Diamondbacks, also time with Pittsburgh.
Has battled a lot of injuries. I think it was lower back surgery. He's had
several times. Yep.
And trying to fix things. He was very highly thought of, still is, but as an everyday guy, the wear and tear of all the catching finally caught up to that back, and it was after the Pittsburgh situation. He came back here and signed with the hometown Astros. Very nice compliment to Jason Castro.
Oh, good pitch. Nice breaking ball there, and Alex White gets his first strikeout.
Mike Shaw, Super Mo on the outside corner. Look at that. Really great extension on the slider. Not a chance to hang it when you hang on to the ball as long as you could possibly can in your hand. And then to have that finish out front, you get a pretty good result. That was nasty.
Way out on the fingers?
Way out on the fingers as far as you can, where you feel that last touch and feel out there. It kind of gives you the indication that you're out there and out front. On that front leg, you hear Bob Apodaca talk a lot about that.
Now, George, when you're doing that the way you want to, I mean, are you feeling the seams coming off your tips?
You feel that rawhide leaving when it does off of those certain fingers, the last to touch.
Marwin Gonzalez, a young infielder. They like this young man's potential. Jed Lowry's their everyday guy, but they see Gonzalez as being someone who could play all over the place. And it's going to be another ground ball out. Good start for Alex White. We're in the middle of the second inning. Happy Memorial Day. Rockies with the lead on the Astros.
where we get to salute the military and thank them for all what they do. I mean, it gives us an opportunity to do what, I love to do. So I just want to say thank you to all the military out there. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to do what we do.
And we all echo Jason Giambi's comments. George and I, our dads were part of the greatest generation and served in World War II. We know what it means to give service to your country, and we salute all of the American heroes who have kept this country free. Tyler Colvin getting the start in right field, leading it off. Tyler, you saw the graphic hitting right at 300. I like the fact that I think the biggest difference from a year ago with the Cubs, George, he's more patient.
Patient, I think, relaxed, confidence. People beat you down. I mean, Chicago could be a very difficult city to play in for a player if you're not having success. The media will not get off your back. Of course, it's all day games. It's just difficult when you don't perform. You're going to hear about it. It can wear on a young player to the point of, you just press all the time.
Got out in front of Jordan Lyles' changeup and flies out to Jordan Schaefer. We might have to get Doug Marino on this. It might take a little while to check it. As much as he is a stat man extraordinaire, how many times have we had 3 Jordans in the starting lineups?
Oh, forget it.
I
don't think he's going to come up with that.
Well, probably second game of a doubleheader. The energy's not there.
Well, he might, except he was stuck in Baltimore last night for 4 hours on a plane connection. He's running a little tardy today.
Will Nieves now. Will getting his second start at an RBI double and 4 at bats in the Saturday game in Cincinnati. Matt Downs has to back up on it, but time to get the catcher. 2 down.
Well, for the best deal around, buy a Coca-Cola value pack. You can buy it for $59 or $79 depending on the seat location here in the ballpark, but it is a great deal for your family to come. 4 tickets, hot dogs, Cokes, and a whole lot more. The Wednesday and Thursday's ball game versus the Astros it is available, so give the Rockies a phone call.
2 quick outs for Jordan Lyles here in the second. Now he gets his counterpart Alex White. Alex with a hit in 9 at bats so far this season. The hit was a double. Shadow from the left side of the grandstand here in this beautiful ballpark has crossed the pitcher's mound now. Still a lot of bright area behind, and this will hit into the crowd. 1 and 2. Somebody made a nice grab. Sit in those seats, pay attention.
And bring a glove, and he had it. I love it.
And Lyles strikes out Alex White. 2 in the books here in the nightcap. Rockies with the edge on a Fowler homer. Back for the 3rd.
second game of the doubleheader, and the Rockies leading 1-0. Well, on this Memorial Day, several of the players wanted to send out their thoughts and wishes, as did Matt Belisle.
It's a perspective that I hope is never lost. And I'm lucky because the anthem and what I do for a living is a reminder every day of what a freedom I have to be in the United States doing what I'm doing. So it's a special day. I'm proud to be a ball player and an American, and I hope everybody keeps that perspective.
Well, Belisle said that he gains perspective in every single baseball game he plays, and his reminder is the national anthem. He said, today on Memorial Day, and I watched him, he kept his eyes closed a little bit longer to think of all of those that have lost their lives fighting for our country and all those that continue to serve. Jack?
All right, Jenny, thank you very much. Jordan Lyles, Astros pitcher, leads it off against Alex White. Jack Corrigan from 850 KOA sitting in for Drew Goodman here in the nightcap, along with George Frazier and Jenny Kavnar out and about in the ballpark. We're glad you're with us. I hope your Memorial Day has been a great one.
Yeah, I wonder how many people in the first game walked over to Lodo, had a little bite to eat, and headed on back to this one.
Yeah, fireworks after the game. A 1-2 count on Lyles, who is 0 for 5 in the call-ups when he has had a chance to pitch. And he's going to have his first big league hit, just beyond the reach of Marco Scutaro. Yeah, maybe he did pick up one last year. I'll stand corrected. I was waiting for him to toss the ball out. So he must have got one last year. No, now they are tossing it in. Okay. Nope.
Now, White says, I don't care if it is, I'm keeping the ball. I like the way it feels. You can get it in between innings if you like it.
Leadoff man on for the first time for the Astros, and back to the top of the order in Jordan Schaefer. Got to watch when this guy bunts.
Well, he handles the bunting aspect of the game very well. In other words, he can push it up the third base line. He can carry it with him up the first base line. With Todd playing behind the hitter, there may be a chance that he may try to pull that off. But what I like is Alex White is such a good athlete on the mound, can get off and field his position as good as anybody on the ball club.
And he has missed twice with Schaefer showing bunt, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Well, it was the way it played out in the opener, and at least on paper, with the way the lineup is in the nightcap, the top 4 or 5 are the guys that are going to be the ones to generate offense for Houston.
Yeah, that's where you try to do your damage control, get a ball on the ground, get a double play, try to do what you can do with it. And it's difficult to do at times.
Incidentally, our stage manager and stat man extraordinaire, Doug Marino, did check for us, and that was hit number 4 for Jordan
I thought
Lyles.
you were coming. He found the Jordan thing.
No, well, come on. Well, if he did that,
he's still working on it.
He's working.
He's not going to give it up.
There's the bunt, and White will flip it to Helton in time, but the sacrifice is good. And the potential tying run moves into scoring position with 1 out. But just as you were talking, George, good play by Alex White. Adam Ottavino couldn't make that play in the opener.
Right. I mean, he went after that baseball in a hurry, getting off of the mound and being able to flip to first base. Now you deal with this lineup you talked about with Altuve, Bogasevic, and Lee. That's the 3 dangers. Here he is getting off the mound, and he really feels his position extremely well. And I saw it earlier on a ball reaction right back to him on the mound.
Altuve, 15 RBIs. He knocked in a couple in the opener. All 5'5" of them. Look out, Dave Clark, third base coach.
Reminds me a lot, with more power, of Mike Gallego when he first came to the big leagues. The former Rocky third base coach, now working for the Oakland A's. A guy that was just one of those pesky hitters. You know, you make a mistake, you'll drive it on the gaps. You know, make a nasty pitch. They take short, quick swings to the baseball. Very quick hands around the bag at second. Good range.
He was the best hitter in terms of total hits in the minors in all of minor league baseball last year when he got called up. But the Astros people themselves say he has done more than they thought he was going to. He drops behind in the count 1-2. He'll strike out, but not an inordinate amount. 26 strikeouts, but he's already batted almost 190 times.
Doesn't take days off. Young player, very productive. You're going to play.
Pacheco's going to have to hurry. Got him. Good job by Jordan. He just every day. I mean, it's not Brooks Robinson by any stretch of the imagination, but you see the instincts blossoming.
Well, you see him position his body to make the throw. Watch what he does. He's going to feel this ball on the backhand, but he already has the back foot planted, a quick crow hop to get his body under the throw and make the perfect throw over. We did not see that in the month of April, but we're seeing it consistently here with Jordan Pacheco in the month of May, and since he started playing on a regular basis there. The bat was never a concern. It was the glove. Well, glove's pretty good right now.
2 outs. Lyle's still at second as Bogusevic, who singled his first time up, tries to tie up the ball game. The other thing about Jordan Pacheco, George, I mean, you could include spring training and minor league time. He might not yet have 100 games of action at third base.
Yeah, not even close. You know, you're talking whatever he has here, and maybe 20 in spring training, and then 9 last year. Not many.
Not many at all. And ask anybody who's been an infielder at the pro level, and they'll tell you how tough third base can be to play.
Well, and the game gets going much faster here than it does any other time. That ball's hit well.
And Tyler Colvin's going to run out of room. On a 2-0 pitch, Brian Bogusevic gets just his second home run of the year. And the Astros claim their lead for the first time since the first inning of the opener. 2-1 Houston.
2-0 count. Look for the fastball. It is. It's up out over the plate and not down. A lot of back leg drive and extension. This is a strong kid, left-handed hitter. I think this ball probably gets out of the park, even with that jet stream headed out to the bullpen. But it comes back to the old adage, work ahead and work down.
Second home run allowed by Alex White this year. And now down 2-0 to Lee. And in the first inning, he had a full count against Bogusevic when he gave up the single. And he was down in the count to Lee when he got his single. And now it's 3-0 here in this at bat.
Well, you pitch to contact the first 2 innings and you get good ground ball outs and you're throwing strikes. And I think that's what Nieves goes out to encourage him and say, pitch to contact. Let's get ahead of these hitters and work down. You can't fall behind on these type of hitters. You've got to be able to stay consistently down in the zone and be aggressive with it.
Gets a strike to make it 3-1. And that'll be a base hit. Carlos Gonzalez trying to keep it from 2. Carlos Lee digging for 2, and he's going to make it. Throw was a little bit offline. Carlos Lee getting his second straight hit. The inning stays alive, and let's take a quick look at our AT&T trivia question for Game 2 here. 8 franchises have never won the World Series. How many of them can you name? We'll check on your baseball IQ a little later on. Travis Buck ended the first inning grounding into a fielder's choice, and White gets ahead of him. The other thing that's interesting too, it happened to Jamie Moyer yesterday, George, when that pitcher leads off an inning and gets on base, so it flips into the bigger hitters in the lineup.
No question. Now all of a sudden you're dealing with 1 through 5, the guys that are supposed to be the production people, and that's exactly what they did, and that's what they've done in this ball game. You look back at the first game with this club, and it was all the top of the lineup doing most of the damage.
Trying to end the inning and keep the deficit at just 1. And Bobby Meacham. Oh, Bobby. He never boots a ball.
Very rarely. The infield instructor for this ball club, the Houston Astros. You know, something I didn't talk about earlier, and we'll get back to it in a minute, is Joe Patini, who went to work for Brad Mills. Good hard ball down and in, and come on, Bobby. Oh, Bobby.
In between hop.
He'll say the sun got him.
Hit hard, but at too low. And that will end the inning. But a 2-out, 2-run homer by Brian Bogusevic has given Houston the edge, middle of 3. And it came with the first batter of the night for the Rockies. A line drive blast by Dexter Fowler, his 7th home run of the season, gave the Rockies the early lead, but Brian Bogusevic, a 2-run homer here in the top of the 3rd, so the Rockies will need to battle back. Dexter leads it off. 1 ball and 1 strike to count on Fowler. A couple of pinch hit home runs for Dex among the 7 homers. Puts the bunt down. Downs charges, throws, and throws it up the first baseline. Fowler thinking 3. The throw is not in time. I'm not really sure where Downs was to catch that ball, and Dexter got in there. The throw was a little offline, but he was at a strange place, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was too far off of the bag, and then he was to the outfield side of third base. That ball's bunted hard. Downs gets the baseball, and then a low throw to Carlos Lee, normally a left fielder. Dexter looks over the shoulder versus picking up Richie Dower. Then everything's kind of out of whack to catch the baseball. See, he's well out into the outfield side of things, and then Dexter slides safely into the bag.
So now the Rockies have that actually, I apologize, it was not Matt Downs, that was Marwin Gonzalez, the shortstop, who actually came over and took the throw when we watched the replay. Good camera angle, gentlemen, to get us to see that. Give Dexter a base hit and charge Downs with an error that allowed him to get to third.
Those are the kind of mistakes when you play at Coors Field, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, you can't make, because it ends up typically costing you. Line drive by Scudero. It would be the first out of the inning to the second base.
I couldn't agree more, George. Those places, the extra outs are just the death. And the line drive for the moment helps out Jordan Lyles, but now he's got Carlos Gonzalez, who doubled to left his first time up. Got to third, but Rockies couldn't bring him home. Now he's trying to bring home Fowler and tie up the ball game. Best run producer on the club at the moment with 36. 2-0 on Carlos. They'll concede the run everywhere but at third. Downs is up a little bit because even with all of Cargo's power, every once in a while he'll drop a bunt down.
He will do that. I think, by the way, Snyder a little disappointed he didn't get that last pitch called a strike.
This will score the run. Altuve gets Cargo, but home comes Dexter Fowler, and just as they did in the opener, the Rockies cash in a Houston mistake. They've tied the game at 2.
And with a young pitcher like that on the mound, sometimes a play like that on Dexter Fowler will make you come unraveled. He actually made a pretty good pitch on Gonzalez. And Gonzalez able to get the ball to the right side and get the run across to tie it at 2-2. There's been 8 hits in the game, 5 for the Astros, 3 for the Rockies.
Troy Tulowitzki drew a walk against Jordan Lyles. That's the one free pass issued so far by the 21-year-old right-hander. And he gets another ground ball. Gonzalez will end the inning, but the Rockies take advantage of the 2-base error. We're tied at 2 after 3 in Denver. Astros in game 1, just like the Rockies cashed in a miscue in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Here was the situation in the 8th inning. Jed Lowry, I'm not really sure what he was trying to do there, George.
Well, I think he was waiting on Altuve to come to the bag, and Altuve never went to the bag. If he goes there, you probably have Guthrie out. because I don't think Lowry was comfortable in trying to throw the ball down to first base to get the runner Fowler, so it ends up being a mess, and the ball ends up, that error cost him basically the ball game.
Pacheco then flared a single to center field, and 2 runs scored, and the Rockies won 9-7. Matt Downs grounded out to Alex White his first time up. And that will rattle around in the club seats. 1 ball and 1 strike. Matt Downs is a guy who they use as one of their primary pinch hitters, getting the chance to play in this game to try and get his bat going. And this will end up foul as well. He's got only 9 hits on the season in 62 at bats, and has gone a couple of weeks now without a hit, and that's part of the reason Brad Mills wants to see if he can get some game swings and get him going again. Got him. That was 95 with that high cheese.
Got him to chase it too. Sometimes when you work down in the strike zone, if you elevate the fastball, and even if it's above the waist or a little bit higher, you change things around a little bit, and they change the eye level of the hitter. Nieves actually wanted that ball down and away. You can see his glove run back over to catch it, but they do get the strikeout of Downs.
Chris Snyder, the other strikeout victim for Alex White, and he's not going to strike out on this one. Carlos going back to the warning track with Dexter Fowler, but it is gone. Alex White, who was plagued by the home run ball last year, had done a really good job through his first 4 starts, allowing just 1 home run, but he's issued 2 here in back-to-back innings.
Yeah, 15 a year ago in 51 innings, 51 plus innings, and then now 2 in this ball game. He's starting to heat up a little bit at Coors Field. You got a little wind to deal with. You make a mistake in the middle, and Snyder made it pay for it.
3rd home run of the year for Snyder, and the Astros, who don't hit a lot of home runs, have just 38 on the year, but they have used 2 here to take the lead back. 1 ball and 1 strike on Marwin Gonzalez. His ground out was to Marco Scutaro in the 2nd inning. He puts a bunt down. White off the mound, off balance throw, and he throws it into right field. And Gonzalez will hold at second. A good bunt, and then compounded by the throwing error.
Yeah, it was a very good bunt. Not sure you're going to have a play on him, but I mean, White's going to, if he does make it, it's a spectacular play to get him at first base. You're going to go over and charge to get to the baseball, plant that right foot, and an off balance throw well out of the reach of Todd Helton. Perfect bunt, placed where you needed to in order to have a chance, and then Alex White disappointed. You could see it in his body action of making that bad throw.
Yeah, especially you've got the pitcher batting, even though Lyles got a hit off him last time up. Keep that runner at first, you keep the double play in order. Doug Marino did find out some information for us regarding the Jordans.
And
on September 24th, 2011, the Rockies and Houston Astros played. Bounced to Pacheco. He'll look the runner back. And one Jordan gets another Jordan for out number 2. And that'll bring up the 3rd Jordan, Jordan Schaefer, to bat. And all 3 guys were in the game last September at Minute Maid Park in Houston.
How do you know? Were you there? I'm asking Doug. See, I'm just checking. You looked at the box score. See, you can't get anything past Doug Marino, even when he's a little bit tired.
2 outs for the third Jordan. Jordan Schaefer, who had a sacrifice bunt his last time up. He'll hit this to shallow center field, and it's going to drop for a hit. And the Astros cash in the White error to make it 4-2 Houston. Jordan Schaefer has enough power that you have to play deep enough and get one of those down around the trademark swings, and nobody's going to get to it.
No, they're not, and that's the same type of hit that Jordan Pacheco had to win the ball game in the first game. A broken bat right below the label, smacks the bat, but White knew it. You can see him kind of bend the body back, hoping that they would be able to get a play put on it. There was not. It's a 4-2 ball game now. Houston on top.
For the moment, that's an unearned run. And with Schaefer, good base stealer, 13 out of 17 on the year. Boy, quite a bang play on Schaefer's stolen base in the opener. It looked like Wolin Rosario made a perfect throw, and the call could have probably gone either way.
Well, Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo showed us.
Yes.
He was out.
He was out.
But unfortunately, they don't have those in their eyesight at second as an umpire.
Altuve, the ground balls, 1 to second, 1 to third. Astros have 8 hits in the ball game. A couple of them have been on the infield, but they still count. Puts traffic on the bases, and the Astros have cashed in enough to score 2 in each of the last 2 innings. Two strikes the count.
Here's the play Jack's talking about right here as he went into second base. Troy tagged him there, and the hand was not on the bat.
And Schaefer would come around to score. But the Rockies ultimately prevailed 9-7. They're down 2 here with 2 outs in the 4th.
Schaefer's what we call in baseball a quick twitch guy. The muscles are quick twitch. You see the dive back, it's never relaxed. Everything is not a herky-jerky type motion, but a quick reaction to the ball, whether it's with the bat, throwing, catching, running.
He was probably a cornerback in football.
There you go.
There he goes, and the ball's hit up the middle, and Scudero's right there at the bag to play the stolen base. Instead, he turns it into a fielder's choice, and the force ends the inning. But Houston scores 2 and leads by 2. 92 highway miles per gallon outperforms its competitors. Chevy, made for Colorado. Carlos Lee, 81st on the all-time home run list. He is just one ahead of the guy at the plate, Todd Helton. And you saw a guy at the top of the list, Luis Gonzalez, who of course had that wonderful career with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He began his career, or the early stages of his career, in a Houston uniform. 1 ball and 1 strike on Todd. Houston and Detroit, and then found his niche with the Diamondbacks. Todd's fly out was to left field in the first inning. This is driven to right center field, and Schaefer is able to cut it off, and Todd will have to hold with a long single.
Okay, well, that was a great play by Schaefer to get over and cut that baseball off. I thought Todd had a double written all over that.
Let's go back to our AT&T trivia question for this game 2 of the doubleheader. 8 franchises still looking to win their first World Series. How many of them can you name? Well, of course, the Rockies and the Astros. Brewers, Padres, Mariners, Rays, Rangers, and Nationals. And the Rangers, how close have they been the last 2
Yeah,
falls?
you got a feeling with that offense and the addition of Darvish, they got a pretty good chance of being able to do some damage down there in Texas. That offense, I mean, goodness gracious.
They're facing old buddy Kevin Millwood in Arlington tonight, tied at 4. Millwood trying to win his 4th in a row.
He pitched well, started here. He had to start right before that. Here's a base hit to right, Pacheco again.
Little inside out swing by Jordan Pacheco. Had an 11-game hitting streak stopped yesterday, so now he's built a 2-gamer in this doubleheader. Stay connected this season with us by following Root Sports on Facebook and Twitter. Tell us what upcoming series you're most looking forward to this month. There are the ways to stay connected. Rockies trying to connect with the baseball and get back to even or regain the lead. They got a good shot here in the 4th with 2 on and nobody out. Nice block by Chris Snyder. Tyler Colvin flied out to center field his first time up. This is the Astros' first doubleheader in nearly 6 seasons. And of course, they don't get rained out at home, so making up games not as difficult. Oh, that's a little bit of a
Well, Lucas Harrell's the guy that
Yeah.
started a couple of nights ago, and I'm sure they probably held him back. It was his pin day because he's starting here on Thursday.
But he's up in their bullpen, cued towards third. They'll go to second for 1. The relay to first. No, it's a foul ball. Foul ball.
Catcher's interference.
No, catcher's interference, and the bases are loaded. Eric Cooper made no hesitation on the call. I was wondering, Tyler Colvin was just jogging down to first base, and Tyler always hustles, so something had to be up. Let's see if we can find the catcher's interference. Go get it, George.
Yeah, take a look at this because you're going to be able to see it on the Supermo camera right here. Watch his glove. Stay on the catcher's glove the whole time. See how he just knocked the end of the glove off like this. Look at his eyes, too. Can you see the eyes right here? Snyder closed completely, but not those of Eric Cooper. He caught it.
It loads the bases with nobody out. For Will Nieves. And he was a little bit anxious on a changeup.
Cooper sees it. Time. Let's go. We're going to move him up. Starts pointing immediately at Snyder. What turned out to be a double play ball turns into a bases loaded, no out situation.
And you do charge an error to the catchers, so 2 miscues on the night now for Houston. Nieves grounded out to third in the second inning. And he's down 2 strikes here. Pretty good cut fastball thrown that time.
The Rockies have hit 286 with the bases loaded this year. This is the first chance for Nieves in 2012.
And you see the numbers in his career, not all that great, but he might have something pay off here. No, they do get Helton at the plate. Give Lyles some credit there for knowing who the base runner was at third, and he didn't panic after the ball went off his glove. He got the force play at home.
At 6'5", that helped, because the ball had a high hop coming off of the bat of Nieves, and he's able to jump, leave the ground, dropped it. Helton on the move here, still not in time.
1-2 on the fielder's choice. Everybody moves up 90 feet. And Alex White hoping to help himself.
Well, you wonder in this situation if Jim Tracy would say, take a pitch. Take till you can maybe walk. Stay out of hitting a double play ball, as he did with the bases loaded in a game the Rockies lost to the Seattle Mariners.
Can't handle the curveball. It's 2 strikes. Yeah, almost either that or you try and bunt here.
Something other than hitting the ball on the ground at someone, and then Dexter coming up with 2 outs. Dexter with a home run and a base hit waits in the on deck circle.
1-2 on Alex White. Mentioned he had a double earlier in the season. That's his only hit. Keeps the at bat alive. Pacheco at third, Colvin at second, Nieves at first. Now that was a hanging curveball, but it was so far inside, Alex White couldn't put it down in fair territory.
There comes that curveball. It's a knuckle curve. You see that ball tipped under it, but it's a hanger, big time.
And got him with a fastball up, but not the worst thing for the Rockies, because you just didn't want him to make 2 outs.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Dexter Fowler swinging a very hot bat. The home run and the single. You've got the bases loaded right now. Pacheco at third, Colvin at second, and Nieves at first.
Dexter a bunt base hit, and then the ball was thrown away, and he got all the way to third, and then scored on a ground out in the third inning for the Rockies' second run, and he homered to start the ball game. And just as we were talking about with Troy Tulowitzki during his streak, as Dexter has gained in confidence at the plate, his handling of his own strike zone has improved. Like that. Not a bad pitch. Might have chased it when he was scuffling. 2-0. Gotten a break, Mr. Lyles, on that one. But he doesn't get it that time. Clearly up now, 3-1.
I'll tell you, that's a lot of missed spots, but yet
one of them was called a strike.
Yeah.
Lock in on an area. That's what Dexter wants here. And again, up in the zone, he gets strike 2.
And all that Brad Mills can do, he just pace over the dugout. He's done a lot of hard work to get out of it. That to me would appear to be a high fastball on most people, but Dexter at 6'5", and Eric Cooper obviously saying strike.
Well, the runners will go. That'll help Nieves from first if Dexter finds an alley. Instead, they can just jog to the bases. Ball 4. Fowler with the walk drives home another run, and it's 4-3 Houston.
Scudero's hit the ball hard twice in this game. Deep fly ball to right and a line drive at second.
And boy, for Marco, the toughest thing for him this year, he's had a lot of loud outs with men in scoring position, like the line drive back in the 3rd. And he'll take a high strike. Look at that look. And now Eric Cooper's hearing it from Carney Lansford in the Rockies dugout. I'm sure Carney's saying, hey, maybe Fowler, he's 6'5". This guy's not even 6 feet. Pitch was in the same spot.
Now, most batting coaches and hitting coaches, I mean, at the big league level, you will find they're going to fight for their guys harder than anybody else.
Yeah, then he drops a hook in like that.
Yeah, exactly. And and I think as a hitting coach, you can carry it to a point. Then you got to be careful not to get tossed.
One and 2. Couple of grand slams in his journey through the big leagues for Marco. Oakland, Toronto, Boston. Drives this to the gap in right center field. This will clear the bases. Marco Scutaro with a 3-run double. The Rockies are up 6-4. Oh, what a big time hit for Marco in the clutch.
Boy, isn't it ever, though? I mean, this club trailing 4-2, and you looked at 4-3, excuse me. And you know, the young kid Lyles had battled to get back out of this thing. And then all of a sudden, Scutaro comes up. Big base hit into right center field. Remember the 2 previous at-bats. Deep fly ball to right. A line drive to second. This one split the outfielders. Scutaro drives in 3 runs to give him 7 RBIs on the year now.
And George, how about this? That was just his 4th hit in 36 at bats with runners in scoring position. As I said, a lot of tough outs for Marco, like earlier in the game, but he delivers here and he knocks young Mr. Lyles, it appears, out of the game. Brad Mills hasn't taken the ball from him yet.
Whatever the conference was, make a pitch and get out of this inning. Brad Mills, with new ownership, new general manager, all kinds of new people in the organization, obviously probably feeling a little bit of heat on trying to be successful here. And his club only 5 games out coming in the National League Central, and they had pitched extremely well. It's a matter of getting some timely hits and doing some things correct to stay in this race.
Boy, just so good to see Marco have some success in the clutch. Carlos off the end of the bat. Altuve will get him, and that ends the inning. But the Rockies score 4 and have regained the lead, up 2 after 4.
3 RBI double in the 4th. The Rockies score 4 runs. They now have the lead 6-4 over the Astros as we head to the 5th. Well, both these franchises have something in common, and that's a face player giving back to the community. Walt Weiss from the Colorado Rockies in the mid-90s, and Craig Biggio, who played all 20 years of his career for the Houston Astros. Craig Biggio is still the special advisor to the general manager. He was just extended out in that job title last week. Walt Weiss held a similar title from 2002 to 2008, and both of them are head coaches at a high school in their towns. As for Craig Biggio, he won back-to-back titles in 2010 and 2011 with St. Thomas High School, and Walt Weiss now with Regis Jesuits High School here in Aurora, Colorado. He was an assistant when they won a title in 2010, and this year he took his team to the Final Four before they eventually lost to Cherry Creek, who ended up winning the 5A state title. So it's nice to see very famous professional names giving back to young players. In fact, Biggio put it best. He said, "Why I coach these guys? It's because I want to turn boys into men. It has nothing to do with putting my name out there." I thought that was a great statement.
It is a great statement, and both of those players you're talking about are also coaching their sons at those high schools. So spending and building memories with their own kids. It's kind of a neat way to go also.
Carlos Gonzalez in the track of that one off the bat of Brian Bogusevic, who had the 2-run homer last time up, but he's retired for the first time here in the 5th. Time for the XL Energy high efficiency inning. Learn about energy efficiency and how to save money in your home by visiting responsiblebynature.com. The efficiency inning for Alex White came in the 2nd. Little comebacker, a strikeout and a ground out, trying to get back to that form. One more note on our buddy Walt Weiss, and Jenny didn't want to talk about it, but she mentioned that Regis Jesuit had won a state championship when Walt was the assistant coach. She didn't say that her dad Steve was the head coach winning that championship. Her dad, one of the all-time best high school coaches in the Denver area for many, many years.
Well, that program obviously on the rise has been. Dan O'Dowd's son played there, went on to Dartmouth, played, been very productive. So their teams have been good for a while there at Regis.
And congratulations to Mark Johnson and Cherry Creek for another 5A championship, and all the 5A, 4A, right all the way down through all the championship teams in high school baseball here in the state of Colorado this spring. Football was my best sport, but if I could have hit the hook, I would have kept playing baseball longer.
Well, that hook and sliders put a lot of people
into other sports.
Into other sports and into other professions in a hurry.
2-0 on Travis Buck, and Alex White trying to work through this 5th inning now that he's got the lead back again. Just outside the line, 2-2. Always revert back to the Michael Jordan experience. Not to say that they're better athletes in baseball, but if one of the greatest athletes in the world ever couldn't play the game of baseball to the same talent level of his other sports, it just tells you some of the unique aspects of the people who make Major League Baseball, how special their skills are.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you think of a couple of the guys, Bo Jackson, one of them that could do it, but did it pretty well. But it's very difficult to even come close to experiencing what you have to at this level.
Well, in the efforts to get a quick 5th inning, Alex White, he got back to 2-2, but eventually walks the left-handed batter Buck. He now gets Matt Downs. The walk, the first of the night for Alex. Text Cheyenne for your chance to win Reba tickets. You'll also be entered to win tickets to Brad Paisley Championship Bull Riding baseball games and the VIP grand prize drawing for Cheyenne Frontier Days. Message and data rates may apply. Visit RockyMountain.rootsports.com for official rules. Matt Downs, a comebacker to Alex White and a strikeout. Bang it foul, and ask and you shall receive. Michael Jordan, thank you Doug Marino, 202 with 3 homers and 51 RBIs in 127 games for the AA Birmingham Barons.
But they got a nice bus out of the deal.
They got a lot of good things out of it. A lot of good post-game spreads. Yep.
A lot of good food. They got a nice travel bus out of it. Had a kitchen in it. Sleeper bus.
Fouled into the glove of Will Nieves, and White gets ahead 0-2. Not many pitchers wear single digits in baseball. Alex, one of them.
Yeah, you don't see that very much. Doug, how many other pitchers wear single? He was already started on it.
Oh. He caught him in the helmet. And they'll quickly check on him to make sure it's okay. Trying to throw a pitch in. A fastball, he got underneath it, George, and that's scary.
Well, it's really scary in this day and age with the concussion side of things. I mean, that's why they're looking and very concerned, obviously.
Well, I suffered a concussion playing football, and it is not, you know, which I'm sure now you're going to say that explains a lot about him.
No. He's staying in the ball game.
Yep. It looked like it got more of the bill of the helmet than the body of it.
Yeah, it looked like it ran and got it pretty flush. You'll see it on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Mode right here. He's going to duck the head to try to get out of the way, close the eyes, and try to take part of that impact.
Right towards the front of the helmet. Going to stay in the game, but now with 2 outs and nobody on, a walk and a hit batsman have put the tying runs on for Chris Snyder, who hit a home run his last time up. Snyder struck out in his first at bat. Ball 1. And then the other thing, George, I know in your career you had to have hit a batter or 2 along the way. Anybody hit in the head, and how did you react? And you didn't have those.
Didn't have any head shots. You know, I had a lot of ribs and legs and butts and things of that nature, but no head shots. It's always a concern because you never know. Kyle Drabeck, by the way, wears number 4. White wears number 6. It's the only 2 players in Major League Baseball. Another challenge for Doug Marino to keep him on going tonight.
I asked about that.
Another one.
Yeah, I asked about that, George, because it just seems like it's as much an issue now for Alex White as it is for Matt Downs after being hit.
You know, and it is, Jack, and I think this is for me, when if you hit somebody and you were trying to, then I went to a slider. It's a different arm action. It's a different break on the baseball. I'm trying to take it away from a hitter versus into a hitter. And that seems to calm back the nerves a little bit.
He went inside and got a strike as Will Nieves made the call and got him.
Well, I think White's such a tough kid mentally. Even though shaking a little bit last year confidence-wise, but a tough kid mentally. I'm not sure that part would bother him as much as maybe the release point on the baseball would start to be affected it somewhat.
83 pitches for Alex. Went in there again and didn't get the call. Now let's see where Nieves wants him to go here. You've got Marwin Gonzalez as the next hitter. And it'll be a base hit to left field.
Now they're really going to try to crowd the line on him. Here's the throw from Gonzalez, well up the line, not going to have an opportunity for a play at the plate.
Yeah, it makes it a 6-5 game as Buck scores. Downs held at second base. Just shows you not a lot of walks from Alex White compared to some of the other Rockies pitchers, but his first walk of the night and then compounded with the hit batsman on an 0-2 count. He falls behind and has to make a pitch to Chris Snyder and doesn't get his location, and all of a sudden it's a one-run game again. You see Carlos Torres is going to start to throw in the Rockies bullpen. Gonzalez had a bunt base hit and went to second on White's throwing error and eventually scored in the fourth inning.
You know, looking at the defensive alignment, because Snyder's a dead pull hitter, you can see how close Pacheco's playing to the line. Tulowitzki's over, and this ball's going to get through right next to Pacheco, which is normal third base position. He's probably diving, caught the ball, but you're trying to stay away from that double. You're trying to stay away from letting him jerk the ball down the left field line for extra base hits, because Snyder in a dead pull mode right now.
The Rockies have Josh Outman up as well, the left-hander. Good pitch there, the breaking ball with good action. He gets ahead 2 strikes, and Alex could really use an out here. Keep this lead intact. Todd Helton will handle it, and the damage is just 1. We are halfway through this one. Rockies and Astros. Rockies up a run. Sports is brought to you by Ford Explorer. Go do your exploring. Ford Explorer. Go further. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By College Invest. Are you saving for college or just talking about it? And by your Colorado Hyundai dealers and America's most fuel-efficient car company, Hyundai. Rockies up 6-5 as we move into the bottom of the 5th inning. Jack Corrigan from 850 KOA sitting in for Drew Goodman this evening. Happy to be working with my buddy George Frazier. First pitch swinging. Troy Tulowitzki hits it to his opposite number, and he is retired for the first out. Troy 0 for 2 with a walk here in the nightcap.
I tell you what, I know there's a lot of cities we travel to, Jack, and you sit up in the booths and you see the skylines, and they're awfully pretty, but the views they come up with, these camera guys here in this ballpark, phenomenal with the mountains and the sunsets and the crowd shots. They're just, they do a tremendous job, and there's a lot of pretty views around here.
I was going to say, George, I mean, you certainly want the Rockies to do well. You like to have them win, but you have one of the prettiest ballparks and one of the best spots in the world, and you're just one of 28 markets in the world that have Major League Baseball.
Well, it's kind of strange because this ballpark's what, the third oldest now?
Yep.
And it seems like it was built yesterday. Great place to come, whether Rockies win or lose, whatever they're doing. The thing about it, it's still a decent experience to show up and watch a ball game, and not trying to sit here and sell a bunch of tickets. I've been here doing this a long time in this organization. It's a great place to come around. Hey, follow the Rockies on your phone with MLB.atbat12app, featuring pitch tracking, highlights, and a whole lot more.
Well, one more point on that, George. I mean, we were talking about how hard it is to play the game. You get a chance 81 times to see some of the best athletes in the world in this particular sport. The best athletes in the world in this particular sport.
I think that's what I love about the game of baseball. I mean, however long it's been now, 40 some odd years that I come to the ballpark and watch games play and participate. You still see something new almost 2 or 3 times a week either way. Well, that might be the best inning this young man's had the whole way through. It is.
Not only a 1-2-3, but he did it in 6 pitches. We'll head to the 6th. Rockies are up by 1. Brought to you by Cooney Lexus, where luxury has an address. Rockies jumped on Jordan Lyles, first batter of the game. A line drive, leadoff homer by Dexter Fowler. But the Astros answered with a couple of home runs themselves. Brian Bogusevic in the 3rd inning. Chris Snyder in the 4th, but the Rockies down 4-2, and then 4-3 with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Marco Scutaro cleared the bases, put the Rockies up 6-4. Houston got a run last inning, and that's where we stand heading into the 6th at 6-5 Rockies. Justin Maxwell's going to pinch hit for Jordan Lyles, and he looks at a breaking ball from Alex White that finds the strike zone. High and deep to left field, and this game is tied. I mean, way back there. That's up on the concourse. Justin Maxwell with the third home run of the night off Alex White. And this game is so much like the afternoon affair, back and forth. Maxwell's third home run of the season.
Or look at this and see this shot. I mean, you talk about a guy knowing it, when it left the bat, it was out. This was one of those situations. Maxwell stayed right on top of this thing. The most home runs he had hit in any season was 14, Jack, and that was back in A-ball. Combined, excuse me, let me add these up a little bit, a few more than that.
Well, it knocks Alex White out of the ball game, and we've got a pitching change. Josh Outman coming on, will step away. New game in the 6th. Off to college, and with predicted college costs, you need to start saving early. You can open an account with as little as $25 today at collegeinvest.org. And those two little guys, yep, better start now. And Josh Outman will start his work trying to keep this game tied now as he comes on to face the top of the order.
Well, you see the record 0-1. He's thrown 3 2/3 innings. Earned run average fairly high, only because of a couple of outings. He'll need to get the left-handed Schaefer as he gets going. I want to correct myself. In 2007 and 3 stops, Maxwell hit 29.
Okay.
In 09, 17, and 010 and 2 stops, big leagues, minor leagues, he hit 9. And last year, just 48 games, he had 16 for the Yankees AAA affiliate. So the power has been there in the past.
It's his second pinch hit home run of the 3 he has hit this year. And Josh Outman starts off missing on the first 2 pitches to Jordan Schaefer, who's 1 for 2 with a run batted in. Not close. Josh wants a new baseball. This is another guy with some great potential. Just trying to harness it. Is it a focus issue, George?
Yeah, probably a little bit of that, Jack. I think, too, Jack, is that spring training, top of the world, really threw the ball well. Unfortunately, got the flu, food poisoning. He got it so severe that he pulled an oblique. 446 feet on that home run, by the way.
Wow.
That it, you know, and then he made all the rehab appearances at, you know, Modesto, Tulsa, Colorado Springs. Finally came here, was activated. May take a little bit of time for him to get in, but the stuff's there. I mean, it's nasty what he can do with it.
Tulo gets the speedy Schaefer. Now, goodbye Outman to come back from 3-0 to get Jordan Schaefer for the first down. Jordan Schaefer, I don't know if we can really tell because you're only talking one shoe size, but he took a ball off his foot last week, and to be able to play without it bothering him, one shoe is a size larger than the other. We'll have to look, see if we can tell. I mean, that's difficult. I mean, how do you tell the difference between a 10 and an 11?
Yeah, that's kind of tough to do.
Altuve, they've kept him in check here in the nightcap. Batting average still over 300 for the second-year infielder. Well, we went from Alex White wearing number 6 to Josh Outman wearing 88.
Doug, how many pitchers wear number 88 in the big leagues? Hold on, he said. Give me just a minute.
2 balls and a strike. Alex White's done such a good job of staying away from the home run ball, but it jumped up and bit him on the backside tonight with 3 allowed. 4 of the 6 runs coming on home runs. Tulo again with a chance. 2 away. Just everything looks better about Troy now.
Oh, it does. Well, you're hitting the ball better. You know, when you see that average climb up, and you see the home runs 8, you see the RBIs jumping up. Those things make you have a little better deal going on. How about that shot?
Yeah,
he's not going to sleep, Mom. There's 34,500, 36,000 people. They're going to start yelling as soon as the Rockies take the lead.
And I wonder if they're going to keep him for the fireworks.
Oh, absolutely. Got to watch those, right?
Good breaking ball to the left-hander Bogusevic, who has a single, a 2-run homer, and a fly to left on the docket.
That slider he just threw is almost like the separator. You know, the fastball, guys can adjust to the velocity of that pitch, but when you can drop off that nasty slider, that obviously elevates your game a lot.
The 0-2. That's another thing. I mean, he's not the only one, but it's another thing I like about Will Nieves, and you see it from a lot of catchers, but I mean, he knows there's nobody on, and it's a 2-strike count. Pitch in the dirt. He's working on his blocking skills. I mean, he bounced around. He could just,
absolutely.
Said, so what?
Yeah. But and the thing about it is, when you have a catcher with those kind of hands behind there, it gives you confidence out here. Albert Bell wore number 88, by the way. I knew he'd find something. Amazing.
Tied at 6 here in Denver. listen to the Root Sports website. Hall of Famer Tracy Ringolsby will bring you Rockies game notes, interesting insights into the team and its players. Tell you where those folks got their sunglasses. Check out his game notes on the Rockies and Dodgers series coming up by visiting RockyMountainRootsports.com. New pitcher for the Astros, right-hander Reiner Cruz.
15 innings so far, used mostly in these type of situations. 1-0 overall. Commands the strike zone fairly well, so now we'll just see what ends up happening if he comes into this tight game. A lot of guys like this, doubleheaders, you wonder what reaction will be in tight games. And as a manager, this is where you try people to see where they are.
Tyler Colvin reached on catcher's interference in the 4th inning and then eventually scored on the Scudero double. At the time, put the Rockies up 6-4. Astros have come back to tie it, so the Rockies look to regain the lead. Two balls and no strikes on the Rockies right fielder in this game. Tyler's former team ended a 12-game losing streak this afternoon at Wrigley on a hot day in Chicago. 8 homers between the Cubs and Padres. Chicago won 11-7. Hooked towards Carlos Lee, and he gets it to Cruz in time. Will you make it to home safe? Don't get called out with a seatbelt ticket. CDOT reminds you it's click it or ticket time, so double your chance of surviving a crash and avoid a $65 fine. Be sure to share your seatbelt survival story with CDOT on Facebook at Colorado DOT. Five in a row set down by Houston pitching after the Rockies had taken that 6-4 lead. Will Nieves hit into a fielder's choice last time up, but scored on the double by Scudero. Pretty good breaking ball by Cruz to start the at bat for Nieves. Houston has out hit the Rockies 10-6. Rockies have taken advantage of a couple of miscues defensively by the Stros. Bounced up the middle, and this time Gonzalez won't get to it. Will Nieves gets his second hit as a Rocky. 1-out base runner for the pinch hitter, Eric Young Jr. Time for today's CenturyLink high-speed pitch. Fast speed and a low monthly price. Visit CenturyLink.com. See both those young starting pitchers can get it into the mid-90s. Neither one is going to be involved in the decision tonight. Once again, it's going to be determined by the bullpens. EY 238 on the year. You saw the pinch hitting numbers, but he'll make Cruz throw strikes here. Not adverse to drawing that walk.
Not at all.
Push that runner into scoring position. Get back to the top of the order. Downs way up on the grass at third. And the pitch goes to the backstop, so now you may think there are all kinds of options now for Eric Young.
Yeah, there sure is. Fastball type options. That's what you're looking for now. 1 out, runner at second. This ball missed by about 3.5 feet. A clean miss all the way to the back wall. Snyder had to jog after with Nieves headed down to second base.
Go ahead run in scoring position now. Adam Ottavino has begun to throw in the Rockies bullpen. Looks like they've got a left-hander hiding behind the pines out there in the Astros bullpen. Tardy on that fastball, 2-1. Almost like Eric wasn't sure he wanted to go after it, and by the time he did, it was too late.
Well, that looks like Wright, the left-hander out there. I'm sure he's getting ready for Gonzalez. The only other lefty is Cedeno.
Little flare to right field coming on Bogusevic. He'll make the sliding catch. Nieves has to hold. Back to the top of the order, Dexter Fowler has been on base 3 times. He has scored 3 times. He has driven in a pair. Walked with the bases loaded in the 4th inning. Led off the game with his 3rd career leadoff homer and singled and scored in the 3rd inning. Time for the Coors Light freeze can. Take a look at the home run by Dexter. I mean, it was a bolt. Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. 0-1 pitch. Got him to chase a changeup, and Dex is down 2 strikes.
And he's had 11 shots with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this year. He's hit at a clip of 364. Pretty good number with 2 outs.
His runners in scoring position proficiency has been pretty good. Trying to get Nieves home and give the Rockies the lead again. 1-2. Off day tomorrow. The way the schedule was originally laid out by Major League Baseball is going to be a typical 4-game series, and the Rockies petitioned to have the holiday doubleheader. It's the only holiday date at home for the Rockies this year. 2-2 on Dexter. I think the fans have liked the idea. Had a nice turnout, almost 36,000 at the opener. Good crowd here tonight with fireworks after the game. Get an off day on a Tuesday for the 2nd time this year. That doesn't happen very often.
No, it doesn't.
From 0-2 to 3-2 for Dexter. The way you look at it, I mean, Memorial Day, Father's Day, Mother's Day, 4th of July, Labor Day. Rockies are travelers on all of those holidays. The 3-2 is a little tapper. Going to be a tough chance for Altuve. Not in time.
Carlos Lee's not happy with this call at all. Has called timeout.
Brad Mills is going to join in the conversation with Marty Foster. Dexter gets another infield hit.
Let's look again. There's been twice. One of them benefited Houston with the slide to second. Altuve, very nicely done on fielding the ball barehanded. Now look at Dexter. Does he have the ball before the glove? Out.
Break for the Rockies.
Take advantage of that now in a big way.
Nieves moves to 3rd. Brad Mills. Is he going to make another change? Or is he just going to talk? He's just going to have a conversation with his young reliever. He brings most of the infield and Snyder around him. I was going to say, you were talking about the lefty up in the bullpen. That's for the guy in the on deck circle.
Yeah, and you know, Mill's going to talk to him how you got to pitch to him. With Scudero, everything's gone to the right side. Let's come up with a plan here to get out of this inning.
Marco delivered big back in the 4th inning. With the bases loaded, he cleared them with a double to right center field. Short lead for Fowler at first. And it's hit the right field, but it's going to carry out to Bogusevic for another line drive out off the bat of Scudero. We'll go to the 7th. We're tied at 6 at Coors Field. You look out to the west, the Rockies and the Astros tied at 6. And hard-throwing right-hander Adam Ottavino out of the Cardinals organization, trying to put a foot down as a member of the Rockies bullpen. Second tour of duty with the Rockies. You see he has done a little bit of work over the last few days.
Yes, he has, and it's a hard-throwing right-hander, big arm. He'll throw the ball up to 95, and it's experiencing a lot of success coming out of the bullpen versus working as a starter. So utilize that hard slider, fastball, 2-pitch guy, and still can demonstrate a pretty good changeup at times.
He'll get a tough hitter in Carlos Lee to begin the evening for Adam after he worked in the opener this afternoon. Lee a single and a double and a fly to center field. And a first pitch strike from Ottavino. Adam likes to work quickly, and apparently a little too quickly for Lee. Gets time from Eric Cooper. And drops in another good slider. It's 0-2. Carlos, after arguing with Marty Foster, just had a slight disagreement with Eric Cooper on the location of that pitch. 1-2 now.
Oh, I love it.
Look at that guy going at it.
It's got a little sugar on it, don't you think?
Oh, man.
You're going to be watching movies late tonight, Mom. Why won't he go to sleep? I don't know. It might have been the thing of beauty.
I may have to find out where that is sold in the ballpark. That looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if you should find out because I'm going to have one. Hi. Yeah.
The 1-2 in the dirt, 2-2. New York City kid who played his college ball in the Boston area at Northeastern, so that tells you he can handle anything. Marco Scutaro gobbles it up. I didn't know if Carlos Lee was ever going to drop his bat. He finally let go of it about the start of the 45-foot box. One away in the Houston 7th.
Coors Field's available year-round for special events. Most areas of the ballpark can be reserved. Call 303 Rockies for more information and plan your group trip here at the Yard and to enjoy one of your events here at the ballpark. Open year-round.
Travis Buck, who started a 2-out rally for the Astros in the 5th inning with a walk, takes ball 1 from Ottavino. He eventually scored on a base hit by Chris Snyder. This will be a souvenir for somebody. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. From the stretch, as he always is, Ottavino can't get that breaking ball to find the strike zone. Jack Corrigan from News Radio 850 KOA sitting in for Drew Goodman tonight. Drew will be back for the game Wednesday with these Astros. Happy to be here with George Frazier, my good buddy. We have a lot of fun together. I always enjoy working with you, George.
Well, thanks. Me too, Jack. You and I have been doing this a while. We just didn't know it. Cleveland days.
Yeah.
Still playing and doing things when you were starting out over there.
2-2. I don't know if Dexter can get there. Yes, sir. 2 away. Good jump on that one by Dexter Fowler. Speaking of which, not Cleveland per se, but doing this for a while, it was kind of cool for me when we were in Miami this past week. That made it 50 big league ballparks that I have broadcast a game.
Yeah. Good for you.
It just means I'm an old guy now, but it's still so many new venues. Like George said earlier, this is the 3rd oldest park in the National League now. And it opened in 1995. Good breaking ball to Matt Downs.
It tells me just a lot of people saw the success, and to be able to rejuvenate the downtown area so much with building ballparks there. So many other teams have done the exact same thing.
This will be an easier chance for Dexter and a good 7th inning for Adam Ottavino. As this big crowd gets up the stretch, the Rockies have an opportunity, as they did in the opener, to come back in the late innings and come away with a win and get a doubleheader sweep. That's the plan. Of course, the day today, most importantly, Memorial Day, as we honor the men and women who gave their lives in service to this country. And at this time, First Lieutenant Jason Plosh is going to perform God Bless America.
Please welcome First Lieutenant Plosh and join him by singing along to God Bless America.
7th inning, and want to remind you this is a copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Colorado Rockies. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies. Lefty Wesley Wright against Carlos Gonzalez to start the Rockies' 7th inning.
Now, Wright faced earlier in the ball game, or I should say the first ball game. In the 7th inning, he was able to get Gonzalez a fly ball to third base. Matt Belisle warming up in the bullpen for the Rockies, an 0-2 count on a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. 15 games on 15 pitches on Tuesday, 10 Friday, 3 Saturday, 8 earlier today, and then here he is in the ball game tonight.
He's their lefty specialist.
And he drops down and he'll go to a low 3/4 sometimes on the slider and throw it in baseball terms a big sweeper. Sweep from one side to the other, then he'll get on top to a little higher 3/4 angle and be able to make it shorter and quicker.
And a little guy and really compact in that delivery. Got to be tough to pick it up.
It's very difficult to pick the ball up. Watch how the arm comes out of the glove with a little bit of that shoulder turn, and it's late. And the velocity, 92 on that fastball, typically is in the 88 to 91 range, but he got after it there. Gaining confidence with every outing in these situations. Facing someone like Gonzalez.
The 1-2. Did he hold up? Yes, he did. I thought he held it up in time, and Lance Barrett down at third base concurred. Thank you, Lance.
It is a good call. We put that line down that baseline just like we normally do. The hands never break and didn't get out front, so the result's good for Gonzalez and the Rockies.
Tried to bust him in, and Cargo pulls it for a base hit.
Well, when he faced Tulowitzki the first time, Tulowitzki got a fastball away from him and shot a rocket to right field.
Now, Brad Mills, we had heard talk that he's not adverse. He's got one less guy in his bullpen. He sometimes goes hitter by hitter, and he's going to make a double switch. Going to bring in Chris Johnson to play third base and go get a right-hander. So the third reliever of the night for the Astros will come on the scene. And we'll step away. 1 on, nobody out. Rockies trying to regain the lead in this 6-all tie.
Mom, I don't know if this is a good idea unless Dad gets off work at about 11.
Troy Tulowitzki to face Wilton Lopez. Been used quite a bit by Houston out of their pen. Chris Johnson in at third. Troy puts a bunt down, and there will be no play. How heads up was that by Troy Tulowitzki, and that will extend his hitting streak. 2 on and nobody out.
Nobody expects the 4-hole hitter to lay down a bunt in a tie ball game, so that opens up some avenues to try it, and it gets by everybody. Helton this year, and this is a big number for me. Helton this year, I mean, look at Wilton Lopez, who came into the ball game. We'll identify him real quick. 26 ball games, 242 earned run average. Not many hits in his innings, and doesn't walk people. He will pound that strike zone.
Gave up a walk-off homer to A.J. Ellis over the weekend in Los Angeles. And Todd Helton, I know where you're heading, George, in terms of his efficiency in the clutch this year.
.412 average with runners in scoring position, .345 with runners on. So you like the situation for the Rockies to take a lead here with Todd Helton at the plate.
Wilton Lopez essentially is Houston's version of Matt Belisle, and Matt is up in the Rockies bullpen. Lots of appearances in the first 2 months.
Big sinker, running it up to 91, 92 miles an hour. Has the ability to strike you out with the slider. Loose, durable arm is a good way to put his situation.
Gets ahead of Todd. Good base runners on with nobody out. And Todd spoiled a pretty good pitch, a changeup. You've got Gonzalez looking for 2, and he is shaded way up the middle. And you've got Chris Johnson really at a spot where you'd see the third baseman play a right-handed hitter. There's a huge gap on the left side.
Yeah, I'm very surprised they're playing it this way defensively unless he's able to get back there. Todd hooked it.
Only play for Carlos Lee is first base. He'll get the out, but now 2 men in scoring position with 1 out for Jordan Pacheco.
Snyder making sure, again, this is one of those deals, you know, with Lopez firing strikes. 21 2/3 innings, 21 strikeouts. So he has that ability, but you see the numbers for Pacheco with runners in scoring position, a very high number. Boy, wouldn't that be nice to see for Pacheco to get a base hit here after driving in the 2 go-ahead to win it in the first one. Why not go ahead and add to those totals again? 375 for Pacheco with runners in scoring position.
1 for 3 tonight with a run scored. The Astros have to bring the infield in. Right in the middle of that batter's box, Pacheco. Doesn't chase ball 1. About halfway between. He's not way off the plate. He's not crowding it. Squared stance. Just a little bit inside that back line.
Yeah, they're trying to pinch on the right side, Altuve and Lee, because that's where he's been going with the baseball. When you pull the infield in like this, all you're trying to do is just have 1 foot of range, because the ball's going to be hit so hard. You're less than 90 feet away from the baseball, and try to make a play on it.
Got a little run in on the hands there with the sinker to even the count at 1-1. Also shortens up the lead from third for Gonzalez. That hit him. Nope, hit the bat. Stay right there, Eric Cooper said, as pitch in, and Jordan wanted to check his swing, and you could hear it. I'll tell you what.
That didn't hit a bat anywhere. It hit him right in the forearm.
Hit him right on the right forearm. Well, that evens up the call at first.
Maybe he thought he swung around on it, called it.
Little nubber. Throw to the plate, and Carlos is out.
Tell you what, that's a nice play by the pitcher, Lopez. Really nice play in reaction to get off the mound and be able to do that.
Tulowitzki gets to third, but now 2 outs.
Nice block by Snyder. He had braced himself for an impact, and Gonzalez wisely slid into the plate. Now you got Tulowitzki at third base. Pacheco at first base.
But 2 outs in the inning now. And a left-handed batter in Tyler Colvin. Tyler is hitless on the night, reached on catcher's interference, and swings and misses at a changeup.
Well, they've had this matchup a couple of times in their career, 1 for 2. Not a lot of history.
Tyler is still a young player, trying to develop in these clutch situations. You see the number under 200 at the moment, with a chance to put the Rockies back on top. One ball and 1 strike. '27th inning in his 27th appearance, Wilton Lopez. Hit up the middle. Altuve will get it to second for the force, and the Rockies don't score. We'll head to the 8th. Still tied at 6 in the nightcap. Rockies hoping for the sweep.
Coors Field. We're in game 2 of the doubleheader. It's tied at 6 as we head to the 8th with Matt Belisle taking the mound for the Colorado Rockies. Well, time now to take a look at the rest of the NL West. The Rockies the only one playing doubleheader action today. But there was a team matching up. That was the Diamondbacks and the Giants. We'll start with the Padres, though. Headley above the rest. How about a 4-for-5 day for him at the plate with 2 home runs against Chicago, although the Padres did lose 11-7. The Diamondbacks lose 4-2 to the Giants, but they did have a pinch hit home run from John McDonald. And Zito, he wins it again. He goes all the way into the 8th to get his 4th win of the season. The Dodgers right now in action with the Brewers. The Brewers lead 3-1 in the 7th there. And one more note from the National League. Cole Hamels is the first to 8 wins in the National League. So a lot of pitchers have a little bit of a ways to catch up.
Well, not actually, Jenny, because he was first to 8 by about an hour because Lance Lynn got his 8th win a little later in the day for the St. Louis Cardinals. Matt Belisle on. Too low, no, and he's got the catcher, has time, and a good little side saddle play on a tough smash by Chris Snyder, who they get out for the 2nd time after he had knocked in a couple of runs with hits. Each team with 6 runs on 10 hits. Both teams have had some errors impacting in the scoring. Marwin Gonzalez, a single and a run scored back in the 4th inning. Number 8 man in the lineup, but they did a double switch, so Chris Johnson is on deck. And Matt Belisle, who worked the 8th inning in the opener, working the 8th inning in the nightcap. And this time Gonzalez, with the 3rd baseman Pacheco drawn in, is able to slash it to left for hit number 11.
Well, the first 20,000 that show up at the ballpark June 2nd when you take on the Dodgers, they're going to receive a Carlos Gonzalez t-shirt, courtesy of King Soopers. So get tickets today for the series against the Los Angeles Dodgers, Saturday, June 2nd. Obviously a big day with the Gonzalez t-shirt giveaway.
Chris Johnson batting for the first time. 3rd baseman, 284. 5 homers, 20. Actually, that jumps up a little bit because of what he did in the opener. It's the one thing the computer's update only does it one day. 289, 5 and 24. One on, one out in a tie game. And one thing about Matt Belisle, about the only time that Matt has had some issues this year, George, has been when his usually rock solid command deserted him.
Absolutely, and typically that's when, and I've talked to a lot of different pitchers about this, that is when you lose your mechanics because you're tired and you try to force velocity. You can't force velocity when the arm's tired. You got to stay fundamentally sound, what makes all your other pitches fundamentally sound. And whether the pitch is 88 or 92, if you make that pitch to the location with movement, you're going to get the same result most of the time. But when you start to try to force that velocity, it's when you get out of whack mechanically and the ball rises in the strike zone.
One-two pitch, got him. A nasty slider from Matt Belisle.
Well, it allows your arm too to get up on top and work in a downward angle. He ran that ball at 86 miles an hour, got away with it probably a little bit, trying to throw it, hard slider, but it's that nasty one that backs up. If you could master that, you'd get a lot of guys out. You really would. It's just not something you can master in a backup slider.
Because unfortunately, sometimes on that backup, it then goes the other way a long way.
I think too, years ago for Matt Belisle, when he was struggling to find his way to the big leagues and stay, he would have thrown that pitch and gone, "Oh, I can't throw it again because I backed it up. The next guy may hit it out of the park." Now he just moves to the next hitter. He's out, I'm going. The maturity of his success rate at the big leagues has been tremendous since 09. Coming here in August and being such a big part of that ball club that went to the playoffs in 2009.
Gets a first pitch strike to Jordan Schaefer, who has knocked in one of the Houston 6 runs. Did that with a single back in the 2-run 4th. Nieves out for a quick visit. And George, you've been in roles as a pitcher, and Matt talked about still fighting to be a starter, and it took him a while to get the mindset to accept the bullpen and now to flourish in the role.
And now you couldn't get him out of it.
Right.
Loves the bullpen, loves the action of being able to be a vital role in a game every night that you come to the ballpark. It's a special type of feeling, and I think for Matt, drafted very high by a pitching rich Atlanta Braves, that you're feeling I'm going to be the next Glavine, or I'm going to be the next Smoltz, and I think for Matt Belisle, it took a lot of failure to see the success, and then see the success he's having in this role.
Where would the Rockies be over the last number of years without Matt Belisle's contributions?
Would not be good.
Nope. He has been terrific. Trying to end this 8th inning. Will there be room for Cargo and foul ground? He can't get there. Had it hung up a little longer, there might have been a chance. Who wants tacos? Fans, if you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 or more runs for the Rockies Taco Special, text keyword taco to 720-720. Message and data rates may apply. Feed your Rockies fever only at Taco Bell. And just a little hint, folks, the Rockies scored 9 runs in the opener. So you can feed that Rockies fever at Taco Bell tomorrow between 4 and 6. Oh, so close. Schaefer didn't chase. Marwin Gonzalez got on with the opposite field base hit with 1 out. Belisle struck out Chris Johnson, trying to get Schaefer. Held up, and he did. 2-2. Was that the slider that backed up again?
Yeah, I believe so, Jack. I think it was. It was that slider that he was trying to get in on the hands, kind of a cutter versus the slider.
Schaefer battling.
You see Matt look down like that. He's going through a process of what pitch he wants to throw and where he wants to throw it. And Nieves has gone through every pitch he has, but hasn't hit the right location yet with the pitch that Matt wants to throw in this situation.
Gonzalez still being held on by Helton. There he goes. It's strike 3 called. To throw to second doesn't make any difference. For the 50th time this year, Jordan Schaefer goes down on strikes. Rockies and Astros tied in the 8th. Rockies and Astros. If you want the latest updates from Root Sports, well, text alerts to 720-720 and you'll receive text message updates from Root Sports all season long.
You can get updates, you know, Jack, even if you're on the moon.
That's pretty impressive.
Not going there, but
yeah,
not today.
Wilton Lopez, who worked the 7th inning, out there again in the 8th. Doesn't do that all that often for Brad Mills, but in this doubleheader he gets the call. Will Nieves will hit it through the hole for a base hit. Second straight hit for Will. Go ahead man potentially aboard with nobody out for guess who? Jason Giambi will pinch hit for Matt Belisle.
Yeah, the only left-hander he's got in the bullpen, Cedeno, the youngster, pitched in a few ball games last year in September. And he pitched in the afternoon ball game, but then you got to start doing all the flipping around, and in this tied game, I think he'd much rather stay here. What he's doing is talking to Joe Patini. He's talking to Joe Patini, who was also the defensive bench coach for Tony La Russa for a long time, and very, very close to Jeff Luhnow. And that's one of the things Luhnow wanted to do, was bring Patini over here to work on the defensive alignment of this.
Giambi helped key the rally in the opener, drawing a walk in that 8th inning 2-run rally. We're in the 8th inning here, tied, and it's 2-0. And that's the thing with Jason. When we talk about all the big hits in his career and all that, how many times has he not given in, made a guy throw a strike knowing, hey, we need base runners?
Absolutely. Hey, move him up to second any way you can. If I can put it in the seats and win it, great. But otherwise, you're going to give me a pitch I can drive somewhere. 3-0. And you talked about earlier with that now they flip it into the power side of their lineup. You're fixing to do that right now in the Rocky lineup
with nobody out. Gets a strike. And Jason was going to take one, even take another if it's not in an area he likes it.
1,324 career walks for Giambi. That's 37th all time in the history of the game of baseball.
Will Nieves, the runner at first. Nobody out in this tie game in the 8th. And strike 2. Jason didn't think so. Lopez getting the fastball at the knees.
Now, hard sinker does just catch the bottom of the strike zone.
And again, from Giambi's perspective, I'm not going to swing at that. Hopefully it's ball 4. If not, I still have at least another pitch. Runner goes, and Jason fouls it.
As you get older in the game, as a baseball guy and management, you look for things that tells you whether they can still handle the position. And with a guy like Giambi, I want to see hand quickness. And he showed it right there on that fastball away at 92, running away from him to keep the at-bat alive. He fired late and able to foul the ball off.
Runner goes again, and it's ball 4. Snyder can't find it, but it's right around home plate. So down to first base goes the G-man.
And is it time for Guthrie? No, this time it will be LeMahieu.
DJ LeMahieu will pinch run. And Brad Mills pops out of the dugout. See what he's not made a signal to the bullpen yet, but how about Jason Giambi? 2 appearances in both games, draws walks. If the Rockies end up scoring here and going on to win the game, his knowledge of the strike zone pays dividends twice. Tommy Runnels talking with Jason about the at-bat. A couple of guys there with just a little bit of baseball knowledge, don't you
Just
think?
a tad bit.
Brad is going to stay with Lopez for at least another batter. It'll be Dexter Fowler. E.J. LeMahieu, the runner at first. Will Nieves, the potential go-ahead run ahead of him at second. Dexter is 3 for 3 and a walk on the night.
Set this up defensively for the bunt. They'll try to get the lead runner.
The bunt is bobbled by Lopez. He'll get the play to first just in time. He was trying to hurry himself to get Nieves at third, and he almost didn't get anybody. The sacrifice puts 2 in scoring position for Marco Scutaro.
He bounced off. This ball was bunted hard, fielded cleanly, maybe a shot, but then he had to take the shot and make sure he got Dexter to get an out. Bounced right out of the glove, then to strike to Altuve. Oh, you got Scutaro, then you have Gonzalez, which if you're able to strike out Scutaro, you walk Gonzalez and go right on right with Tulowitzki. Right now, picking your poison's not a fun choice.
No. Marco, a 3-run double in the 4th inning. He's hit the ball hard the other 3 times up, and it's outside on the first pitch here.
Well, early in the ball game against Lyles, he got a double in right center to clear the bases.
Rocky scored 2 in the 8th to win the opener. 2 men in scoring position here in the nightcap. Bounce towards second. Coming home is Nieves, and he's out at the plate. And the Rockies again have a runner cut down at home. It happened to Carlos Gonzalez in the 7th inning. LeMahieu over to third.
Yeah, this pretty good sinker right here. Twice they've sent him with the infield that was set up the way it was. This able to tag Will Nieves, and now you got a left-hander. Let's see what he's going to do. Well, going to go down and get the youngster, Xavier Cedeno, and bring him in to face Gonzalez. He faced Gonzalez earlier in the ball game, in the first ball game. Came on and got him on a fielder's choice, a ground ball to second. Similar situation right now.
So the kid left-hander against Carlos Gonzalez here in the 8th inning. The wheels continue to spin.
Boy, they are, and they're doing it at a very fast pace right now.
We'll come back in a moment to Coors Field. got Carlos Gonzalez out in game 1, and he's asking Xavier Cedeno to do it again.
Yes, he is. Cedeno, a former Rocky, actually released after the 09 season with Colorado, and then went and took a year off, came back last year, AA Corpus Christi, AAA Oklahoma City, and then got a call in the middle of September, came to the big leagues. They've been pitching out of the bullpen. He was 31st round draft pick by the Rockies out of a junior college out of Florida. Fastball 88-91 with some late tail and sink. Very good slider.
And down to second base goes Scudero as they did not contest it at all. Pitch was out of the strike zone. See, I don't understand the indifference there, because, well, now they're going to intentionally walk Gonzalez, but yeah,
even left on left they're going to do.
Yeah. But I guess my point being, George, that second run would be huge, as it turned out to be in the opener.
Yes, it would be, and that to me, I don't know.
Yep. It will load the bases, and now you ask a young pitcher who has not always had the greatest command in his career, and he's not even going to pitch against Tulowitzki. We're going to get somebody else.
Yeah, Fernando Rodriguez, the right-hander, warming up down in the bullpen, getting ready in a hurry. He's the upright guy that came in and pitched in the earlier ball game today, an inning and a couple of hits, and gave up 2 runs. Neither one of those were earned. So here you go again. Cedeno walks Gonzalez. They're tied up, folks, and they're loaded.
With the bases loaded, Fernando Rodriguez, who took the loss in the opener when he gave up the 2-run single to Jordan Pacheco in the 8th inning. The Rockies would love to pin another loss on him. No place to put Troy. Extended his hitting streak with a bunt base hit his last time up. Now he's got the pinch runner LeMahieu at third, Marco Scudero at second, Carlos Gonzalez at first.
0 for 1 with the bases loaded this year. Troy, not many opportunities so far.
We saw a pretty good curveball at times from Rodriguez in game 1. And he throws it there and gets strike one. Graphic shows you a couple of slams already in Troy's career. Crowd of nearly 36,000 at nearly the same size crowd in the opener. Way outside. Based on what you saw in the first game, George, do you think he is going to do anything more than show a fastball?
I think that's all he'll do with it. I think he's going to make Tulowitzki hit his breaking ball, which, you know, if that's your out pitch, you've got to go with the pitch you think you're going to be able to handle Tulowitzki with. If you're not confident with your fastball command, as for a ball in, you make a mistake.
To center field, but playable. Crowd gets excited, but Jordan Schaefer grabs it, and we'll head to the ninth. Still tied. Rockies 6, Houston 6. To 7. Jenny Kevnar's got a preview of what to expect on the Toyota postgame show. Jenny?
That's exactly right. Coming up with Joel Klatt and Jeff Houston, we'll talk about Holiday Deck Express. That's right, with 2 games today, 2 opportunities for Dexter Fowler there in the leadoff spot. And all he did is went 6 for 8 and scored 5 runs, including a home run. I'd say that's pretty good. Also, the bullpen very good today. On hold, that's exactly what they've done. 3 innings of scoreless ball so far. We'll see if they can't make it 4th to get the Rockies offense in the 9th. I'm calling a walk-off here. We'll also hear from the manager, Jim Tracy. It's all coming up on the Toyota postgame show.
All right, Jenny, thank you very much. And there you see the Rockies' 9th inning man, Rafael Betancourt. Needed just 11 pitches, George, to get a pair of strikeouts and a 1-2-3 save in the opener.
Well, pounding the strike zone, that's what Betancourt will do, and he's going to get a chance here and start to work against this Houston lineup. You'll see Altuve, Boguszewicz, and Carlos Lee, so it's not going to be an easy trip, but neither was it for him in the previous ball game where he had Schaefer, Altuve, and Jed Lowry in a 1-2-3 situation. He'll have the top of the order here again.
Rockies trying to get the sweep and get themselves a little bit of momentum on a great stretch of home games. These are the first 2 games of 13 out of 16 at home. And after a slow beginning to their success at home this year, they really like to win 2 tonight. Altuve hitless here in the nightcap. They've all been on the ground. And he hits it on the ground again. Too low to Todd Helton.
Well, it's good sinking fastball that you put down on the ground that you're able to kind of control things with.
And do it with a minimum amount of work as well. That's what you like. Boguszewicz 2-run homer back in the 3rd inning that at the time gave Houston the lead. Rockies eventually got ahead 6-4. Houston back with single tallies in the 5th and 6th to tie it. Bunt try. Betancourt. Oh, not in time. Todd maybe trying to help out coming off the bag early, or Bogusevic just beat it. But Rafael Betancourt made that awfully close.
Yes, he did. He made it very, very close. And again, got off the mound in a hurry. Showed bunt early, but he placed it perfectly, and then Betancourt fired that ball down to Todd Helton. It's a pretty good speed here. Let's look on the Mike Shaw Subaru Super Mo.
Well,
out.
Yep, he's missed that twice tonight. Marty Foster, unfortunately. Dexter Fowler reached on a play like that at first. So a man on with 1 out for Carlos Lee. Bogusevic can run. He's got 6 steals in 9 tries, and Betancourt aware of that. Lee singled and doubled his first 2 times up. Since then has flied to center and grounded to second. Betancourt love a ground ball again at one of the middle infielders and turned the double play. And more often than not, when Rafael Betancourt's on the mound, if the hitter's not swinging, you're still going to be saying strike one anyway.
You're going to hear that sound you don't want to hear.
Checking on Bogusevic. Leads. Not that big, but there he goes. And the ball is hit into the air to right center field. And Bogusevic in trouble. Colvin's throw back to first is not quite in time and off the glove of Todd Helton. At first, Brian Bogusevic had no idea where the ball was. He actually took a step towards third and had to go back and retouch second base.
Yes, he had. He had rounded the bag. He looked up, saw it, slid, and it's like, where was he going there, Jack? I don't figure that part out. Then the sprint comes back in, and the ball hits him, or they may have had a play.
Well, watching that replay, Marco Scutaro, as he should, was pointing, bluffing Bogusevic like he was pointing to the outfielder to throw it to third base. I'll tell you what, one more step, that would have done it.
One more step, the Rockies have been in the dugout.
He gets back, and now 2 outs for Travis Buck. 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Rockies will have Helton, Pacheco, and Colvin as the scheduled hitters. The 2 veteran right-handers, Brandon Lyon and Brett Myers, are up in the bullpen for Houston. The game is tied. It'll be Lyon. And if Houston were to score here in the top of the 9th, then Myers, the closer, would come on. To keep Bogusevic close. And Buck showed bunt, took the pitch, ball 1. Bogusevic reached on the bunt. You've got the pitcher's spot due to hit next. Brett Lowry in the on-deck circle. Rafael again will take his time and hoping maybe with enough of a pause, perhaps Bogusevic might break early, but I don't think he'd run until the count has moved to an action count. Well, he is going to go, and it's hit to second. Scudero knocks it down over to Todd Helton, and we'll head to the bottom of the ninth. Todd Helton will lead it off for the Rockies, trying to win it in a walk-off. We're tied at 6. Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Jack in the Box. Right now at Jack in the Box, you can try the new Chipotle Chicken Plum Combo for $4.99 plus tax. And by CDOT. CDOT reminds you it's click it or ticket time. Don't risk a $65 fine. Take 2 seconds to buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. Back here at Coors Field, a Memorial Day doubleheader. Rockies won the opener 9-7. Tied here in the bottom of the ninth with veteran right-hander Brandon Lyon coming on.
Well, his right-hander had pitched pretty good too in the ball game in the previous game today. It's a guy that has closed ball games for Arizona. He's worked. He's come back from injuries, closed games here, and then they decided to go with Myers. He's a very capable setup man that could be used as a closer.
Worked in the opener. Todd Helton swings at the first pitch, pops it up foul, and Chris Johnson is going to grab it by the third base dugout. Rockies have 2 walk-off wins already this year. Todd Helton with the walk-off homer against the Diamondbacks April 14th, and then the walk-off homer by Jason Giambi against the Dodgers on May 2nd. Jordan Pacheco knocked in the game-winning runs in the opener. He's 1 for 4 here in the nightcap. Pacheco needed a moment. Now we're set. Hit the right field, but it's going to carry out to Bogusevic for the second out. Tyler Colvin certainly has home run pop. 0 for 3 officially, reached, as you can see in the graphic, on catcher's interference, and scored one of the Rockies' runs in the 4-run 4th inning. He was trying to end it, and couldn't find the Lion curveball. If there is a 10th, Josh Renicky, the man at work in the Rockies bullpen. And got strike 2 with another curveball, this one on the outside corner. Well, in and out. Pretty well shown on that. Not the hamburger place, George.
Another spot right now, too. Try to go to the breaking ball in the dirt. You just don't swing at it when you bounce it that far out in front of the plate.
Big crowd wants two things. They want a Rockies win, and they want to get to the fireworks. But he got him with the curveball, and we're going to extra innings. We've played regulation. On to overtime on Memorial Day. All season long, Jack Link's beef jerky feeds your wild side. Well, one of these teams will gain their first extra inning win in this game. Michael Kadire has come into the ball game in right field in a double switch, and Josh Renicky will be the new Rockies pitcher.
He's been a find. I tell you, Renicky's been pretty good for this organization and this staff. 239, he's filled in an awful lot of roles. 26 in the third innings thrown so far. Fastball will range 90-94. Mix in a good slider and change. He'll work against Jed Lowry.
Rockies playing in their third extra innings game. They've all been here at Coors Field. They're 0-2. The Astros are playing in their sixth overtime affair, 0-5 at the moment. Lowry, a good young hitter. Their home run leader with 7. He only has 19 RBIs, so more than a few solo shots. But he'll pinch hit for Brandon Lyon. Then you'll have Chris Snyder and Marwin Gonzalez to face Josh Renicky. Put Renicky in the spot of the lineup vacated by Tyler Colvin. That's 7th, and Kadire will hit 9th. He'll bat 2nd in the bottom of the 10th. And Josh delivers strike 1. Josh's Uncle Ron, the manager of the Brewers, his dad Gary, former big leaguer, now scouts for Milwaukee. 1 ball and 1 strike. The count on Lowry.
His dad had worked for Baltimore for a number of years, and then when Dan Duquette came in, a lot of the guys that had worked for him were dismissed from their jobs, and kind of late in the season try to hunt down work. It made a difficult task for them.
Checked his swing, but Eric Cooper said strike anyway. Good location. Josh Renicky, I really believe, George, if he can cut down on the walks, he is a younger version of Matt Belisle.
He is, exactly. And this is a tough kid that doesn't get intimidated by situations, but typically a pretty good strike thrower. I mean, work it with 2 pitches, fastball, slider. He does have the changeup that he'll mostly use against left-handers.
Yes, we have gotten into the evening, almost 9:30 Mountain Daylight Time now. The temperature has cooled. You saw Renicky blowing on his fingers a little bit, make sure they're nice and warm, get a good feel for the baseball. Outfield, you back up, trying to cut the ball off as best you can. Lowry runs pretty well. That will make the chairs as well. Usually makes pretty good contact. He has struck out 29 times. But that's in 170 plus plate appearances.
Really keeps his hands back well and balanced over the plate. Center of gravity is perfect for him as he stands there, and I think that's why he makes so much contact on nasty pitches. He doesn't try to do too much with it, doesn't overswing on the baseball.
Another 2-2, and this one's hit hard and foul, fortunately. Rockies have used White, Outman, Ottavino, Belisle, Betancourt, and now Renicky. Boy, oh boy, 4 straight foul balls.
You're not kidding. I mean, throwing an awful lot of pitches. Last at 94, the 10th pitch coming up. 7 have been strikes out of the 9 thrown so far. You know, there's all the red marks. That's what you got left. Torres, Rogers, and Reynolds on the left side.
Just the closer Myers and the right-hander Carpenter. One of those guys going to have to come in the bottom of the 10th. And it's a full count. Tip your cap to Jed Lowry. He's extended this at bat to at least 11 pitches. And he's going to be rewarded with a base hit. That was a professional at bat by Jed Lowry, and they get the leadoff man on here in the top of the 10th. Chris Snyder, a home run. That was back in the 4th inning. Drama at Coors Field. Lowry has stolen a couple of bases. He's been caught twice. As for the
can't be this much
possibility of a sacrifice bunt, Snyder hasn't had one yet this year.
You know, and I'm sitting there watching Clark at third, base coach's box. He's flashing all kinds of signs to put something on. It'd be a hit and run. You mentioned earlier about Jed Lowry. He's got some decent speed. Possibly steal a base, maybe a hit and run.
Check swing. There's Dave Clark. Former big league outfielder.
By the way, Snyder 16 sacrifice bunts in his career.
More likely they want him to swing. Lighter hitting guy behind him in Marwin Gonzalez, but then you have Chris Johnson after that. So we'll see. Renicky taking his time. He'll throw to first again. The mind game's going on right now. Runner not going. Good breaking ball in for a strike.
From last year to this year, that's the thing I've noticed about Renicky. His confidence to throw that hard slider behind in the count on a 1-0 count, when hitters sometimes are setting dead red fastball.
Snyder, a little bit of an uppercut swing. He doesn't put the ball on the ground all that often. He's down now, a ball and 2 strikes. He's only hit into a couple of double plays. He's not played that many ball games. This is 22nd. This is only his 51st. Make it 71st at bat.
Castro's going to do a majority of the catching, the #1 draft pick. Plus, I don't know how much you can overdo the back of Snyder either. You can't afford to lose him.
Well, if nothing else from all that baseball breeding, Josh Renicky has learned, even if his dad and his uncle weren't pitchers, you control the tempo. You make sure you're ready to go when you're ready to go. Strike 3 called.
Got him into the slider mode, and that's what got him. As soon as he went slider mode, he went outside corner with the fastball, and a freeze fastball, you like to call it. Hitters see the ball away from them, they think slider, so they let it go on the outer half of the plate. That ball comes back to the corner, and you get strike 3.
1 out. Now Marwin Gonzalez, who's had a couple of hits. He went the opposite way for a base hit in the 8th inning. Back in the 4th inning, he put a bunt down. Pacheco at the cut of the grass at third. And this is lined into right field for a base hit, but the runner Lowry can only advance to second. We're looking for him to do anything maybe but that, and Marwin Gonzalez has a 3-hit night.
He hit that ball really hard, just dropped the head of the bat and jerked that thing to right field in a hurry. A low fastball that he went out front, way out on that front foot, and shot it past Scudero into right field to Kadire.
Chris Johnson hitting in the number 9 spot after a double switch. He struck out in the 8th inning against Matt Belisle. He's hit into 6 double plays on the season. Two on, 1 out in this tie game in the 10th. Renicky with the foul ball to get strike 1. 5th out of the bullpen tonight for Jim Tracy. Of course, with the scheduled doubleheader, each team was allowed an extra man, and the Rockies brought up Carlos Torres. The 0-1, and he gets ahead on Chris Johnson. Jim Tracy's often said, I managed to win in 9 innings in terms of using my bench, and then I hope I have.
Then the fight's on.
Yeah, then the fight's on with what you've got left.
Yeah, Johnson swung the bat 0-3-11 clip with runners in scoring position. He's got the chance here, but he's behind 1-2.
Both teams have had their moments and had their struggles. 1-2. Got underneath that one. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The inning started with a long at bat by Jed Lowry, the pinch hitter. Got a base hit on the 11th pitch he saw from Josh Renicky. A strikeout and a single have followed. Oh, just off the glove of Will Nieves on the foul tip, and couldn't quite grab it to secure the strikeout.
Well, hardest thing for you. I mean, that's a backup slider too, but just nicked as he closed the glove in anticipation, took that shot off the face mask.
That move to the mound, a little strategy, a little time.
Buy me a little time and let me put my jaw back in place.
On a doubleheader, you have extra innings, of course. Ground ball towards Scudero to Tulowitzki for 1, on to first for the double play. Josh Renicky got the ground ball he needed. We go to the bottom of the 10th. Again, the Rockies with a chance to walk it off in this tie game. this game. The Rockies jumped out early on a leadoff homer by Dexter Fowler, the third of his career. But then the Astros would go long ball on Alex White. Brian Bogusevic with a 2-run shot. Chris Snyder with a homer in the 4th inning. But then the Rockies would take a 6-4 lead on a bases-loaded double by Marco Scutaro. And then Justin Maxwell, as a pinch hitter, would hit a home run off Alex White, and that's why we're still going at it. And Brett Myers, the closer, comes on. First pitch swinging. Will Nieves grounds out to Chris Johnson.
Well, a lot of people were concerned a little bit whenever they made Myers the closer. They're going to say you paid him $12 million this year. How's that going to work for you? Well, they wanted a tough middle guy to come in and be the closer for their club, and this guy's tough, and he will pound the strike zone. He's had to pitch in Philadelphia a number of years under pressure, where successful and not so successful. And I think personally that they picked the right guy to be a closer for them. 12 out of 13. He's pitched 17 innings, struck out 14, walked just 3. His fastball will still get into the low to mid-90s at times, consistently 90-92. This is the last one offered by Myers.
Michael Kadire will get a base hit to left field in his first at bat here in the nightcap. And the winning run is on. Well, Brad Mills doing something different this year with Myers. He's been a starter a lot of his career. This will be the first time that Brad is going to ask him to go more than 1 inning. He's hoping he'll go more than 1 inning.
Yeah, and obviously the Rockies are hoping they don't see more than 1, but now you work your way into the top of that danger part of the lineup again with Fowler. Then Scutaro swung a hot bat here, then Gonzalez.
Dexter's had a perfect night. 3 hits, a walk, and a sacrifice, and a nice block by the catcher Chris Snyder.
Normally he has a little bit of problem on the balls on the arm side as he slides out, because he's a very big catcher.
Dexter lines it by a diving Carlos Lee, and it's rolling into the corner. The foot race is on. Kadire rounding third, throw to the plate is late. Dexter Fowler caps off a huge night with a walk-off triple. A monster mash outside third base. Oh, baby, what a way to do it. Michael Kadire, Todd Helton calls him a sneaky fast athlete.
And he hesitated. He had to, because the line drive hit to first base, whether it would be caught by Carlos Lee or not.
He's still huffing and puffing, but the Rockies get the doubleheader sweep. Let's look at tonight's delivery of the game, brought to you by Jimmy John's, America's favorite sandwich delivery guys. Visit jimmyjohns.com for a location near you. Dexter Fowler triples into the right field corner, and 36,000 jumped in celebration. And Michael Kadire, just as George talked about, had to take a peek back. The race was on, and Cuddy all out with a game winner. Dexter Fowler does it from start to the finish. And the hero of the night is down on the field with Jenny Kapnar.
Well, Dexter, I think I like you in that leadoff spot, huh? You feeling comfortable and back and ready to go?
You know what? I think things happen for a reason. You know, I got moved down to the A spot and helped me be more patient, and just going out there and relaxing at the 1 spot. I mean,
I think he has a hot bat, but he's feeling pretty cooled off right now. Talk about this team and the way you guys came together, not just in that first game, but in the second game. Both games were battles down to the end.
You got to tip your cap to the Astros. You know, every time we get up, they come back. And, you know, we just kept battling it as well.
I think we'll let Dexter celebrate a little bit, guys.